my side on the TV. They're just coming out to play the last post for the, for the World War victims.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I can see there's a long list of players on there. Absolutely,
Newcastle
long list of players. Guys, welcome to the stream. Big up, shout out to everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Let's start the weekend off with a big, nice bang and an Arsenal. Lovely 3 points. That's what we all need to set ourselves up. Let me just turn the volume down on this. That's what we need for this weekend, guys, so we can get off to a lovely start. I've got a lot happening this weekend. There's the Brazilian Formula One Grand Prix. The Skins are playing the New York Giants tomorrow. So big weekend of sports. And why not start that off with a lovely Arsenal win? So there's a tribute off to the lads in the war. I'm going to go through the team sheet in a minute. Let me just shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to 18 saying the only thing I'm worried about is Trossard. Shout out to Cam. Cam's got a lot to say. Martinelli rewarded with a start after shocking performances. I guess it will change when Odegaard returns. Shout out to D-Dub, says horrible weather. Gonna have to smash and grab today. Ugly win, Newcastle. Yeah, listen, well, I'll take it, man. I've gone for a 1-0 Arsenal away win. And key points, being clinical is the key. And he also says, salute 101. Yeah, big up to you, bro. Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to James as well. James has gone for 2-0 Arsenal. And so, Emerson, what's your prediction? What have you gone for?
I've gone for a close 2-1 win to Arsenal. Goals from anybody in my starting 11. And if ones that come off the sub may score. So I'm going for a close 2-1 win to Arsenal.
Excellent. So, and team guys, sorry, go on.
And just to let you know, the game is near enough about to kick off from my end. So yeah, Newcastle looks like they're picking up to the Gallagher end.
Yes, about to kick off on my side, guys. Team sheet is Raya in goal, Partey again in at right back, and Ben White. Remember, Ben White was still recovering from a knock, guys. So if some of you are out there saying, why isn't Ben White playing? Why isn't he playing? He's still recovering from a knock, from what we've been told yesterday. So it's Saliba back, Gabriel back as well from injuries. Great to see those two. And Timber is in at left back. Then it's Rice, Moreno, and Trossard. It's written incorrectly there. And then it's Saka, Martinelli on the flanks, and then Havertz in the middle. On the bench, Neto, good to see him back. Neto, White, Kivior, Zinchenko, Lewis Skelly, Jorginho. Jorginho's not getting any hardly playing time lately. Sterling, Wanyeri, and Jesus. And the game's kicked off for me. Yeah, Arsenal actually wearing their home kit. I ran upstairs and went and put the black kit in, not even thinking, oh my God, they're playing Newcastle. That's a bit silly, isn't it? All right, let's get rid of this. Welcome to everybody. Let me just put the banner up at the moment. Where are we? Let's get the banner up. I'm really looking for a good game today, guys. Here we go. Right, banners up now. Yeah, big up. There you go. Banners up. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Yeah, James says, hope all is going as well as it can be, bro. A win today would make that much better. Arsenal here attacking on the left-hand side. They've got Moreno linking up with a Timber on the overlap here. It's come to Havertz in the middle. They've got some time. It falls to Partey, who goes wide this time on the right-hand side. Saka being double-teamed. But yeah, Saka, come on, get the cross in, Saka. He palms it off to Rice, and Rice goes wide to Partey. Partey linking up really well there with Saka, but Newcastle get the ball back. I think it's going to be a cracking game, guys. There's going to be a few goals in here. I'm saying it's 1-0 Arsenal because I think it might be tight, but looking at the occasion, I think it might be a few goals in it. Black and white flags are everywhere on the in the crowds because of the commemoration that they've done because of the war. The great tackle there from Declan Rice. Arsenal win it back. Trossard picks it up in the number 10 row. He's looking to go right. Now he has a shot this time, but the shot goes wide. That was all Declan Rice. Declan Rice slide and tackle, breaks up the play in the midfield. You can see here Newcastle come with the overlap. He intercepts the ball, goes to Newcastle player. He wins that ball back in a duel. And Trossard, who has the option for Martinelli on the left, decides to go with the shot. Shout out to Garfield as well. Says, yes, me lion. Yes, my brother. Big shout out to you. Big up Man United in the house as well. Shout out to you, my brother. Hope all is well. Yeah, you got a new manager, man. So things are going to change quickly for Man United. You saw that last week when you won a 5-2. Everybody was like, the players are invigorated now. So yes, everybody watch out. Man United are going to be on the prowl. Man United's coming back this season. Saka picks up the ball on the right, but they give a free kick on the way there. So what's your thoughts about the setup here at the moment, Emerson? We're still going with Trossard sitting behind the back striker line.
Yeah, the only reason why Trossard's in the team is because don't forget, Bob took a knock towards the end of the match as well. Namweri, he went down with cramps, so that could be one reason why Arteta's not playing him today.
Yeah.
So Trossard would have been the ideal candidate in that position because you can leave Havertz up front on his own. And reference to the new Man United manager, I'm sure you can get in touch with Alex from ex Gunnar Cannon Fodder, sorry, I should say.
Yep.
Get in touch with James. Tell you to get in touch with James Rowe. He'll tell you more about this Sporting Lisbon manager because he was touted also for being Arteta's successor if he doesn't have an unsuccessful season. Now Man United's got him. We don't know what he's going to do, but what he has said after the match last night in Portugal, he's not going to buy any Sporting Lisbon players in the summer. So watch this space.
Yeah, because here comes Newcastle on the break. It's 4-3 in their favour. They slip the ball in to Gamares, and it's going to be a corner Newcastle. Cam says Tonali on the bench for them. Interesting. Newcastle fans fuming that he's been benched. At least we've got on top of that our front three tonight. Havertz centrally. Yeah, look, mate. The best way that I can say it, if I'm obvious, is they decided to make 3 changes to the team that lost to Chelsea. They put their best team out against Chelsea last week and got beat. So it's surprising, yes. Tonali drops to the bench. Sean Longstaff has started in the midfield. Anthony Gordon returns with Harvey Barnes dropping to the bench now. And obviously, Amaron is being replaced by Joe Willock. So all he's doing is to looking to mix up the team to get a response. That's all he's doing. You've also mentioned Moreno was brought in to develop the flank, complement Martinelli. So why is he playing on the right? Well, where does Martinelli play? Your statement's a little bit contradictory, bro. We've just saw the first 2 attacks on the right, and he ran the overlap with Martinelli. So Moreno's doing exactly what you've said in your statement. He's complementing that right-hand side because the left-hand side, everybody knows that he's got this. Saka's got the support of Ben White or Partey right now as we speak. Odegaard and Havertz, they strongly try to create triangles on that right-hand side. So on the left-hand side it is where Moreno is supposed to support Martinelli because Martinelli lacks that support. But because Timber's in the team now and because Moreno's on that left-hand side, Martinelli has started to look better in these recent games rather than the opening first 3 games of the season and last season, of course. D says also another key element to winning this game. Yeah, not having a red card, that would be nice. That would be nice. Yeah, and I think when we have 11 men, I think we'll be too strong. Considering this season, when we've played 11 men, we've looked strong for everybody. But we'll have to see how that works out. Time and time again, Arteta must have had words with his players. Don't kick the ball away after a foul or free kick. No silly tackles, no 2-footed sliding tackles or anything high. Don't give the referees a reason to show you a card. So game is warming up now. So Arsenal really lumping the ball forwards Raya after a couple of second challenges, and Moreno's effort from 30 yards goes wide. It's a good start to the game so far. Here we go. They're showing it again now. Trossard just getting brought down. I'm on 7 minutes and 20 seconds, Emerson.
I'm just approaching 8 minutes on mine because I'm watching it live on TNT Sport. So I'm about 30 to 40 seconds in front of you. So anytime you're talking, I'm watching the match. Anytime I'm talking, I'm watching it live. They're just showing some stats that's come up on TNT Sport. You may see it in the next 20 seconds or so. We've got currently we've got a corner to Arsenal. Declan Rice is taking it.
Yeah.
And our set piece specialists are in the area for Arsenal. Here we go. Oh, that was close. Hatched away by the goalkeeper. Declan Rice sends the corner in, and it was directly at the goalkeeper, but he punched it way back, got fouled for it. So there was a foul on the full through. So there's nothing can be to concern at the moment.
You can see there, that's where the danger is for Arsenal on set pieces.
Yep. Especially a thing like that, because what it is, 3 of them go to the back post and 2 stay as near to the goalkeeper as possible.
18 says, I want Emerson to be more excited when we score. And Cam says,
I'll try my best, but the only thing is, I had a bad day on Thursday, but I will tell you off air later, Apollo. I'll tell you once the match is finished off air what happened. I had a bad day on Thursday.
Cam says, I love me some Emerson.
The main thing is,
sorry, go ahead. Cam says, I love me some Emerson, has so much knowledge, nice guy, going through chemo too.
It's hard. I'll tell you that it's hard because as I said, I'll tell you off air, I'm not going to say it in the group chat or anything like that we do on Facebook, because I'm not on the WhatsApp group, so I want because you got me add me on that at a later time, but that's down to you. But as I said, I can either tell you in person or tell you off person after this match what I went through on Thursday. You don't want to know.
We'll talk about it after the game. But yeah, Cam, you're 100% right. He is going through chemo every 2 weeks, I believe. Here come Arsenal attacking on the right-hand side. Are we going to lose possession?
Saka gets the first shot. Just off target.
Oh, okay. Cool.
With the assisted by Timber. What's Timber doing up there? Jeez, what's he doing up there? Jeez.
Again, I mean, but you like to see that, right? He picks up. I mean, look how he fights off that challenge as well. That's fantastic by Yuri and Timber. Well, Timber taking up central positions here, guys. That's something new. I mean, that just tells us that he's feeling really gamey. Look at the run he makes, completely unmarked. He runs into that space, which is a space Havertz normally takes up. Havertz, of course, has dropped deep in order to pick up the ball from the midfield. And that leaves Timber in a bunch of space back there. So that's like early warning signs for Newcastle. If I'm Eddie Howe, I'm a little concerned about that, how Arsenal's inverted left back is allowed to just prowl into the box with acres of space. That's really good. Here come Newcastle's Isak, who's quickly undone by Saliba. Martinelli got 3 men around him and he's depossessed.
There's a goal. There's been a goal to Newcastle. It's that headed goal. Just scored the first goal.
God.
After
what a cross out
just
of nowhere.
11 minutes.
Wow, what a cross.
And
what a cross.
And looking at Eddie Howe's set piece coach, It's something they've looked at during the week, so
Wow.
obviously it has worked. So they beat us at our own set pieces.
Was it a set piece though? Or was it just a cross? It looked like it was a cross to me.
It's,
A brilliant header and a
it's
brilliant
just a
cross.
normal cross, but I'm
Yeah.
saying the way.
What a goal, guys! I'm not going to lie. The delivery, you can see it here again. Newcastle pick up the ball. The cross comes in. Isak picks up the ball and he floods it to the right. It's a first-time cross, and it's just a brilliant header and a brilliant finish. He's standing in between Saliba and Gabriel, and the ball falls right to him. So you've got to say the quality of the cross is just absolutely immense. But it's more about the delivery in regards to the goal. It's just absolutely brilliant. That's got to be the cross of the season for me, guys. And that's how Arsenal's defense is unlocked. When you consider we've only let 5 goals away from home this season, that was just incredible. Did you hear that? They said Newcastle has failed to score in 9 of the last 12 meetings against Arsenal. So that was just incredible, guys. That was incredible. We've lost Emerson for a second, guys. Unbelievable. So for anybody just tuning in now, I mean, it came out of nowhere, really. It's one of the crosses of the season, and that's why Isak gets the chance that he does. Longstaff plays it out wide, and wow, what a cross from Anthony Gordon. And the delivery in the box that Isak was just incredible. Arsenal, though, they have a cross. Declan Rice now coming in with a cross. It is a set piece, by the way. It's a free kick to Arsenal. Let me change the banner here. Yeah, Arsenal undone really by some quality. Yeah, Arsenal undone by some real quality there, man. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Like I said, guys, it's all about the
So
delivery.
as I told you with the phones that I've got, one of them I've got a long battery life. Decide to play up for about 10 seconds. So it's going to give me updates of what's going on elsewhere.
Yeah, no problem, bro.
It's nothing
Guys,
to do with my copy. So.
Guys, David Raya had no chance. He had no chance with that. The delivery was fantastic from Anthony Gordon. Yeah, that's livened up the game a little bit, hasn't it, guys?
Good to see that you've changed the thing, the banner. But you put it in the wrong colours, though. You have to put it in black and white.
Yeah. That's nuts, guys.
You get my point regarding the goal before I got patted out.
Of course, yeah, so, of course.
Regarding the Newcastle set piece coach.
Yeah, the thing is,
because he's sitting next to.
Shout out to Garfield. Garfield says, "Bro, you're struggling." Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say struggling, but I would say the quality of the cross is what really gets the goal. And that deserves a goal every single time, because all you got to do is get your head on it, which Isak does, and there's nothing the goalkeeper can do about it. Yeah, I looked at that. It says Newcastle not dropped any points from a winning start. So we're going to have to get our game. We're going to have to get our teeth in. The last time we came here, the last 2 times really, we just completely played them off the park. But as I said, undone by a bit of quality there, which you can't really argue with. Martinelli got 3 guys around him as soon as he gets the ball. Newcastle really pressing and pushing the narrative. This is where Arsenal are stuck, though. The ball is floating between Gabriel and Timber, and Saliba now trying to see what he can do with the ball, because they're lacking that creativity. Timber picks up the ball, runs forward, trying to find space.
Good build up plays. Good build up play from Arsenal just 10 seconds ago. Good cross. Saka at the back post, just headers just wide of the goal. I'm
Yeah, I
not
mean
sure who
Arsenal.
laid on the cross, but looking at
Yeah,
it was Havertz who laid on the cross. So he's
yeah,
working. He's doing everything. He's doing everything as a number 9, trying to pull out defenders to allow Saka to ghost in at the back post on the right hand side because obviously Martinelli's playing on the left hand side, but they need to get Martinelli on the ball more because if Newcastle can do it with Gordon, he needs to do it. He needs to do it for Arsenal. So at the moment, I'm approaching 18 minutes 20 seconds. I'm
yeah.
not
So
sure where you are at the moment.
you're about 20 seconds ahead of me. Garfield says we'll win 2-1. Cam says that was as textbook perfect as it goes. Crazy inverting by Timber. Yeah, Timber's been fantastic in this game. Here comes Martinelli released on the left-hand side. Does he get the crossing? Yes, he does. And that's all you got to ask for him to do. Sterling's on the bench. He's been used as an impact player mostly this season. He did play more when Saka was out. Central and Gamara's here. Cam says that's what a proper striker does. He's talking about Isak. Commentator said this is unusual because Newcastle has failed to score in 9 of their 12 of the last meetings, which is what I just said. Yeah, so I do agree with that. And that's really down to how good Arsenal are defensively. But you cannot complain about the quality of that cross. You cannot complain about the quality of that cross. Absolutely deadly. For me, for Arsenal, it's just about how tidy can you be in the midfield. It's about how much can you create from that spot. So you're going to be looking at the guys like Trossard. You're going to be looking at Timber to help out, which is probably why he's inverted so much. And in order to give Havertz the service he wants. And of course, our star boy, Saka, who is fighting to win the ball back on this right-hand side right now. Arsenal not pressing as aggressive as they normally do because, again, that's normally incited by Odegaard. Here comes Newcastle again. It's another cross that's come in. This time, this one goes out and misses everybody. Anthony Gordon just really picking his poison there. But let's be honest, Arsenal they have been on top for most of the game, finding spaces down Newcastle's right-hand side. But I mean, look, Newcastle deserve their goal. Let's take nothing away from them. They deserve their goal. Another cross comes in from Guimaraes. This time Arsenal deal with it.
Apollo, a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you know what the injury that Ben White has been carrying for the last few matches that hasn't been said from your sources?
From what I've been told, I believe it's I think it's yeah, I think it's was it a knee? No, I think it was I think it's a knee. Yeah, I think it was a slight knee injury. I think it was a slight knee injury. But basically, it's just basically it was from what I've been told.
Shall I tell you?
It's a slight knee. What's that?
Yeah, shall I tell you?
Yeah.
But it's not from your sources. It's from what I've seen of it. What it is, it's a knee issue, and it's supposed to be a bone rubbing knee situation. So every now and then his right knee flares up, and he has to wear a knee brace every now and then. Some days you see him when he's not at the training ground, he's not wearing a knee brace. Other days he is. Obviously, during the match, he's not. So, thing like that. So, it's a joint. He's got a knee joint issue. But as I said, that is why it flares up from time to time, and sometimes he can complete 90 minutes. Other times, if it does get worse during a match, obviously he can signal to bench. I'm coming off. So there you go. That is from my point of view. Nothing from your
Yeah,
sources that you know, and I know at training ground. We did talk about who's got sources, and I know the person you were telling me about because you did tell
yeah.
me a name, but I'm not going to say it on air. So, but not that. So, I always keep an eye on players' welfare nowadays because we know they're all human beings. They're not robots. They do everything they
Exactly.
have to do in training sessions, like do weights before they go out on the pitch, and then it's up to the boss what session they have, whether it's a short session or a long session. But as I said, because come tomorrow, they will be all back in tomorrow.
Declan Rice.
Ooh.
Declan Rice tries to get that cross in there from the free kick, and was that guy standing 10 yards? But it didn't look like that guy was standing 10 yards away from him. It hit him straight away as soon as he took the free kick. That's a weird one. Garfield says, we just had a poll that's on from Mark Goldbridge, watch along, and 60% of United fans like Gordon more than Garnacho. Yeah, I think he's a better, but I do like Garnacho. Here comes Newcastle again. Oh, the ball's whipped across, and Gomares is on the right hand side. Gordon's causing them all kinds of problems. As I said, didn't play against Chelsea when they lost last week. Camp says should wake up quick and be in trouble. They're going to destroy us with that space all day long. Defensively, this season we aren't doing well. Yeah, I mean, considering that we've had our best defender out as well against Liverpool and giving up 2 goals in that game. But overall, I think the defense is struggling a little bit. And then there's been that inconsistency at right back as well. And then Calafori's injured. So there's reasons why, bro. There is reasons
Also,
why.
I've noticed we got at Newcastle at corners, their set piece coach has definitely got one player targeting Raya at the corners. So he's not touching him or anything like that. He's really close to him and thing like that. And that is a concern. And also Gordon is causing havoc definitely on Martinelli's side. So Arsenal really have to double up on the thing on Gordon when he gets a chance to cross. Because if Arsenal if they can do it for Saka, like most teams do, and double up, then Gordon is the threat at crosses on this side of the pitch.
Oh my God!
So
Saka
Martinelli
delivers a
has to be.
beautiful ball in, and there's nobody there to tap it in. You can't ask Saka to do any more than that. You're talking about creativity. You're talking about what can you do to help the strikers. You're talking about service. And Saka takes 2 defenders on, puts a lovely ball out where the goalkeeper Pope can't get to it, and where a striker should be able to get his foot in inside that 6-yard box, and no one's there to do it. So Saka's frustrated. He's the captain today. He's done his due diligence. Great service from Saka, and not rewarded by anybody who's going in there to tip the ball in. Seriously. Little disappointing there from Arsenal's front line. And then where was Kai Havertz in that situation? The Garfield said, honest answer, do you think
Arsenal go close to the corner back, blocked in the heavily guarded area. Arsenal go close. Here we go.
Oh, yeah,
close,
it's blocked off the
line. Party at the back.
Yeah, it's blocked off the line.
No, it wasn't blocked off the line. Saliba was in the way. No, Partey was in the way, sorry. No, he was right. Sorry, I thought Partey was in the way, but 2 defenders were in the way.
Yeah, Newcastle battling for their lives.
I think it would have gone in. I think the goalkeeper was just behind
him. Garfield saying, do you think that United's new manager would win a trophy before Arteta? I think Arteta would probably win a trophy before him, especially they're going for the League Cup this season, which is not, not anything to be ballsy about. But I will be there at Wembley supporting them if that was the case. We need a bit of silverware. It's been 3 years, 2020 actually 4 years since we last won the FA Cup. So,
and from my point of view, I think yes, but I reckon it's going to be either the Carabao Cup or the Euro, or the trophy they're playing in Europe, and they will go close with Chelsea to win that if they are playing in the same European competition. Because remember, none of the teams from the Champions League go in the Europa League, so I got a feeling Man United have got a good chance because I think the draw favours them. I know they're away to Tottenham in the next round, but as I said, I've got a feeling they can go all the way because everybody's saying now it's going to be an Arsenal Tottenham final.
Garfield says
unlucky.
We're 20th in Europa League. Yeah, Europa League. No matter whether it's Champions League or Europa League, the format is difficult. The format is really, really tough. But you play more games and earn more money, which is what the Super League wanted to do. So I'm all for it, to be honest. Cam says Arsenal set plays really dangerous. Rice's corners headed back across Saliba. Pope tried to come, but Havertz was blocking him, doing the Ben White job. Here comes Trossard. Look, I have to say Newcastle have been fantastic today. Every Arsenal player, when I see Trossard pick up the ball, when I see Saka or Martinelli pick up the ball wide, they've got 2 or 3 black and white shirts around them. And it's just fantastic defending from Newcastle. That's all it is. Newcastle working really hard defensively. Eddie Howe would be very, very happy where they are at this point in time.
No, and also reference to the new Man United manager. It all depends what formation he plays on a weekly basis, because he favours 3-4-3. Whether Man United fans will like that, that's another matter. But we'll just have to wait and see when he plays one of the top teams before Christmas to see what formation he plays. So we saw some of it when we played Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons ago, but now he's the Man United manager. Formation is the key to this new manager at Man United, and also I believe all the Man United backroom staff will leave once he confirmed his backroom staff. So that means Van Nistelrooy may not have a job, and also the two ex-club medical people may not have a job either. So they could be on the move now. We've just got now a corner, and I'm approaching 30 minutes and 37 seconds. Over to you, Apollo.
After football.
Yeah, guys.
Football's on now.
So Gary has been suffering without no power, and Gary's finally got power back. He must be frustrated. No power, no clean sheet. He's on mute at the moment. And Gary, what's been going on, bro? You finally got your power back.
I've got one plug socket in my whole house. I've run 3 extension leads to the front room to connect my internet, TV, and Fire Stick and laptop. All that dedication. What's happened, man? I turned it on with 1-0 down. What's going on?
Yeah, what's happened is Anthony Gordon broke on the right hand side, and he delivered what was probably one of the best crosses that we've seen this year. Dipped in between Saliba and Gabriel, fell on the head of Isak, and the header was unstoppable. We've just
come down Party side.
No, it came down Timber side. Oh, Timber side.
Okay.
The quality of the cross and the finish, you don't stop those, bro. We've been outdone by what is probably one of the most classiest goals that you'll see this season. Really, really, really good. It's nothing you could. It's like when you look at Havertz's goal against Preston midweek, you don't stop those.
Yeah.
The delivery's got to be there. The header finisher's got to be there. Raya doesn't stand a chance. And you know, I don't think anyone's at fault for that. I really don't. He dips the
I'm
ball
on
right
31,
in between
35.
31, 35. So you're just slightly behind me. I'm on 32. I'm on 32.10. And Emerson would be on 32.40.
Afternoon, Gary.
Afternoon, Emerson. How are we?
Afternoon, Gary.
Afternoon, mate.
Had a rough week, a rough day on Thursday. I don't want to go on air and tell you about it. I'll tell you off air once the match is finished. And I could say that I was in a bad way on Thursday, but I'm fully recovered now.
Well, I'm glad that you're fully recovered.
From the two issues that I had. And just to give you a full-time score from the training ground, it finished Arsenal under 18s 1, Crystal Palace 1.
Interesting.
So that's the latest. Martinelli just made the first foul of the match he didn't make a foul. He did a thing. It was self-inflicted by the Newcastle player. He's gone down in a bad way. Looking at it, it could be the dreaded ankle, his right ankle that he's holding. So
let's show Gary
Newcastle 39.
So let's show Gary what he's just missed. Gary, there's been one shot on target for both teams. Arsenal leading in expected goals. Arsenal has more double touches in the box, more possessional percentage, and obviously more final fight. So Arsenal are doing really well in the game. Like I said, they've just been undone by a pure bit of quality in that cross with Aaron Gordon.
Marino didn't even touch. I just see Bruno Guimaraes is down. Marino didn't even touch him.
No, he doesn't touch him.
Marino didn't even touch him.
That's why it was self-inflicted. Yeah. It was self-inflicted. It was time to have a technical timeout, as we call them.
He miskicked it.
Medical timeout.
That's ridiculous, man.
So he's up and running. Foul. He's up again, but he's off the pitch for 30 seconds.
What kind of hocus pocus is that? Halloween
You have to wait now, 30 seconds. Come on.
Can you plug that in?
Yeah, you missed also a part where Saka beat two men on the right, put a lovely cross in straight across the 6-yard line, and nobody was there. Nobody was there. Did what he was supposed to do.
And also that bit with Urine Timber coming up.
Yeah, we do miss Odegaard.
And with Urine Timber coming up for another chance.
Yeah, we do miss Odegaard, and we've actually been able to handle things rather well without him. Our problems has mostly been injuries, suspensions, and a defense just all over the place. Makes you wonder when we stockpiled all these defensive players and everybody was saying, why are we going after another left back? Why are we going after another? It's because of things like what's happening in the first 9 games of this season. So that's the reason, really. Cam says, can't defend Martinelli any longer. Remember when he used to play without fear, feels like he entraps himself against anyone these days. In fairness, they're triple teaming him in this game. Yeah, they're throwing everything. Trossard tries to get Saka through. Nice through. He just needs to weight the ball a little bit better, and he just puts too much on it. Look at that. Trossard's got an easy ball to Saka there for a finish for a goal, and he just can't.
That's a terrible pass, man. Terrible pass.
It is. Yeah.
I'm going to say it now. I've only seen literally a couple of minutes, but it's crying out for Ranieri. Ranieri makes that pass all day long.
Only thing with Gary, but only thing with Namwari, as I told Apollo just at the beginning, that the reason why he's picked Trossard, because Namwari took a knock up just before the end of the Preston game with cramp. So that could be one reason why he's not playing him.
Here comes Martinelli again on the left.
Trossard is the obvious choice.
and they win. Oh, it's given a goal kick. United would have been sent to monitor yeah, exactly. If you're not Man City, decisions are embarrassing. I totally 100% agree, Garfield. Cranky says, why is Trossard on the damn field? Managers proposed him over Ethan Wanyeri. I think Wanyeri should come in and try his spot at that point. But I did talk about this midweek with Gary. Yeah, not really. I mean, I don't know. What do? You don't. It's one of those, isn't it? It's one of those.
I think you just got to give the kid a chance.
Yeah, I agree. 18 said Trossard for Ethan, please. Said yes. Took the ball down. It would have been a goal. Yeah, it's just a shame. But you can see the difference between a guy like Odegaard, who quite frankly is the best creator in Europe, against someone like Trossard or anyone else in that respect. If that ball just has a weighted pass, Saka's through on goal, and it's 1-1. So it's 38 minutes gone, still 7 minutes left. It'd be great for Arsenal to really get something in the first half to make the second half a lot more easier. Very, very, very good goal that they scored. As I said, you can't take nothing away from Newcastle's goal, the quality of the cross and the finish. You just can't really say anything against that.
Gabriel just gave it away.
If Trossard is not scoring, he's useless. And he's not a 10. I agree with you. But he scored 14 goals last season, and obviously not doing as well this season.
Longstaff just kicked the ball away. Yeah, thank you. Yellow card, nice.
Yeah, that's what you want. Something on the
Gary, he did kick the ball. Gary, he did kick the ball away.
No, it was Fabian Schär.
Gary, he did kick the ball away. He disfouled Trossard.
No, Fabian Schär.
He disfouled Trossard. He didn't kick the ball away. No one kicked the ball away.
Fabian Schär did. He got a yellow card.
Where we got that in an earlier, he may have got that earlier. But
that's another foul.
Who's that? Well, who's that?
That's two fouls. Yeah, Joe Linton on Havertz.
Yeah, they're a dirty bunch, Harry. They're a dirty bunch. We know that.
Double whammy.
He give it for the free kick on Saka.
Double whammy.
There was a foul by Joe Linton
double
on
whammy
Havertz.
Yeah, we know that.
He jumped into him when he's jumping for the ball. Look, he's looking at the man.
Yeah, Cam says, I agree, Cranky. I hope someone ends Bruno's career today. I swear, such a disgusting cheat. Arsenal got 2 players on the ground, guys. Arsenal got 2 players. You can see here, Joe Linton plays Havertz instead of... Look, they sandwich Havertz there, Gomeres and Joe Linton. And what happened?
Joe Linton's not even looking at the ball.
I think Joe Willock steps on Saka's ankle.
Yeah, that's what the free kick was for. But the free kick should have been against Joe Linton for the foul on Havertz.
Yeah. After that embarrassing loss to Chelsea last week, Newcastle are coming out. Cam says Newcastle have been pants this season, but this is their cup final, I guess. Pretty much sums it up. Because we've come here and we've just embarrassed them over the years.
That's a great cross, you know. Gabriel's got to try and get in front of Joe Linton there.
Yeah. Oh, Gary, you've caught up. I'm on 41 minutes.
41-15.
Yeah.
That's a great cross.
41-35 for me.
You're 15 seconds ahead of me, mate. But Gabriel's got to try and get in front the other side of Joe Linton there. If he gets the other side of Joe Linton, you bet your bottom dollar that Joe Linton's pulling him to the ground.
Yeah. Guys, I just want to let everybody know, I think Newcastle have been fantastic today. I think that the quality in their play, their defending, their pressing has just been elite today. And Arsenal haven't actually played that badly today. They've just been outdone by a bit of quality. By all accounts, the game would probably be 0-0 in this half.
But do you know what it
Garfield
is?
says
You know
1
what it is,
minute
though, Apollo?
behind on the shit stream.
You know what it is, though, Apollo? When we're getting touches in the opposition box, but we're not having any shots. I don't want to see touches in the box. I want to see them touches converted to the odd shot or two.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
That's a silly foul party, man. It's a stupid foul, Thomas Party.
Also, did you notice, guys, that Eddie Howe was making some notes for halftime during his talk? I believe it's something to do with a set piece move that he's looking at.
Did Party get booked there?
No, he just said no more fouls.
Yeah. And look, if he gets, I don't even know why they've got. Let's have a look. Who've they got? Who've they got on the bench? They've got Neto, White. Oh, Ben White is on the bench.
Jorginho's the only cover.
Yeah.
Jorginho's the only one who can come on for Partey. But who will come on for right back is between Miles Lewis-Skelly and Kivior.
Yeah.
Unless they switch Timber to the right.
Even though
that's
they've
if
got Ben
Timber
White,
lasts the 90 minutes, of course.
Even though they've got Ben White on the bench.
Yeah. But we'll see how it goes with Timber.
Cam says he's talking to Garfield.
That's
he says, I'm fairly certain we're not doing the league this year. I'm still interested in the cups, though. These Premier League games are feeling like a chore to watch. Toughest league in the world, bro. If you ain't got the stomach for it, you know what they say, Gary. Yeah, this is this league doesn't suffer fools, man. Don't suffer fools. All the shenanigans with Manchester City and 115 charges and that is going unpunished. It's just you wouldn't, if this was in the NBA or the NFL, they wouldn't have that, man. These guys would be reprimanded. The FA is like a mafia, man. This Premier League thing is like a mafia. That's FIFA, though, isn't it? We're talking FIFA all over. You just have to look at the Ballon d'Or, and then guys, they're not even turning up these days.
3 minutes added on, guys.
Nice one. The thing is, so Arsenal are getting into good areas.
But all I can say about the Man City charges. Go on. I'll explain in a minute.
All I can say is Arsenal do seem to be getting into good areas, but they're not making the final ball count, and that's really what it has been in this half, Gary. That's been the main problem. So here comes Martinelli again. Gets the ball in space.
He gets closed out because he doesn't make a decision, Apollo. He kind of runs and he doesn't really do one thing or the other.
Yeah, that's right. He's in two minds. He saved the ball well there, though. We're just lacking the creative polish in the final third. That's all it is. We're doing all the work. But that final ball.
But you've got a young man on the bench that can bring that creativity in, like when obviously with Odegaard missing, but you don't play him.
Reference that point you made about Man City about their charges. So far, it's 114 to go. They've won one, so thing like that. So that's all I was about to say. So it's 114 to 1 to the Premier League.
Declan Rice has played well again today. It's a cross that comes in, but it's got really no pace on it. That's from Moreno.
Yeah, that's got to be hard and low, that cross, man.
Yeah, it's got to be hard and lower, yeah. And right on the 6-yard line.
Looks a big guy, you know what I mean? He's gonna pick them up all day long.
So who's hot and who's not? I think Martinelli struggled in this game. I think Havertz is completely missing so far. Normally, Lovey's work off the ball, does all the dirty things, but Havertz is struggling to influence the game at the moment. And I also think Declan Rice has had a good game. I think he's done well. Trossard has struggled. Obviously, we've talked about him. Partey adding a bit of flair to support Saka, making Saka's job a lot easier in this half. And also Yuri Timber. I cannot believe Yuri Timber, man, he's inverting today has been fantastic. Cannot knock his inverting at all. Garfield says it's his birthday. Yes, his birthday. Happy birthday, Garfield. Happy birthday to you, bro. Yeah. Yeah, happy birthday to you, bro.
Happy birthday.
Garfield the cat.
Cranky says we're not creating anything tangible. We are, because, and I talked about Saka beating those
half-time,
two players.
Half-time.
So I talked about Saka beating the two players on the right-hand side. He delivers a lovely ball on the 6-yard line, perfectly weighted. Goalkeeper, it's curling away, so the goalkeeper can't get out to it. Then there's nobody in there to tap it in. That should have been a goal. And that's all you can ask Saka to do. So we have created something tangible. And obviously there's the chance that Trossard fumbled and fluffed up because he doesn't get the weight. But then you won't call that a chance because he didn't have anything on it. But the Saka chance should have been rewarded with a goal. And D said, can't jump on the players. There's no aggression. I think we're getting outplayed there from Newcastle. I think Newcastle have done an impeccable job. And sometimes we always press ourselves too hard and we don't talk about the other team. But I'm telling you now, that goal that Newcastle scored was absolutely top draw. It really, really was. Have you seen the replay on the goal yet, Gary?
No, I'll wait to see. It's just obviously just gone for the break. I'll see it when it comes back on. But listen, if you can see the goal and it's fair play, you can't moan. But
you can't complain about the goal. It's pure quality.
The only thing you have to say is that, all these touches in the opposition box, why are some of them not being converted into shots or block shots at least, Can't just have, it's not about just getting as many touches in the opponent's box as possible. You've got to make some of it count. And when you're struggling a little bit, it's even more important to make something count.
But what I'm saying in terms of struggling, Arsenal could be 3-1 up in this. And this is what I'm saying. I
was laughing, Apollo. Because I
right.
said about Garfield the cat in it, and he's eating lasagna for his birthday. And he says, "But I was born before the cat."
Frankie said, if I cross a ball in open space and my teammate is not there, of course that's a chance. How is that not a chance? I don't understand that. He's created a chance. That's what he's done. The teammate's not there to tap it in.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 thing because he's created the chance by making the cross, but no player has gambled on the cross and made an effort to win the ball.
Exactly.
So it goes down as like a chance, but half a chance.
And then D said, no striker, Apollo. So that's the halftime score. Let me change the banner. Let's change this. Halftime. Right. And that's really it. I mean, my assessment of the halftime, guys, is Newcastle. They've done. I think they've been impressive today. I think that the goal was brilliant. The delivery was fantastic. I think tactically and physically, they've been better than Arsenal. And I know you lot want to spend the next 15 minutes and halftime moaning about Arsenal. You do you. But I'm talking about Newcastle. Newcastle, I think, have been impressive. They've outrun Arsenal. They've outpressed them. The physical side of the game has been there for them, and they want to win this game. But they're not going to win unless there's an added quality to it. And that goal was something that would have beaten any team in the league. It was so well executed, and so credit for them. But it's what they're doing when Arsenal have the ball. They're sending triple teams over to Martinelli and double teams over to Saka, making it very difficult for Arsenal. Only one time did we see Saka beat that and deliver a quality ball into the box. Nobody got on the end of it. But so far, what can Arteta do to get Arsenal going? Can he bring Ranieri in? to add more creativity to it. But Arsenal, for Arsenal, all I want to say is they're already 5 points behind the Premier League leaders, and they don't want to drop any points here today. That would just be a disaster. I mean, honestly, if you don't win today, then you're just going to be too far the Premier League pecking order in regards to the title. We've not even played double-digit games yet. Yeah? That's where we are, guys. We've not even played double-digit games yet, and you're already, at this point, 6 to 8 points off the leaders. It's not, it's too tight. This league is too tight. Too many fine margins for that. But as I said,
means that you have to put a run together of consecutive wins, doesn't it? You can't afford to drop any more points in the league.
Yeah, I tend not to. I mean, it's before I would agree with you, but the league's too tight for that now because these teams like Liverpool and City, they just don't drop points. So if you put a run, they're also putting in runs, Gary.
Yeah, but you've got to match them and hope they slip, but we can't afford to slip anymore if we lose today.
That's what we done last season. We lost once in our last 17 games against Villa and still lost the league. And we were top of the league at Christmas. That's the fine margins that you can be that good and have the best defense and score more goals than you've ever scored before and put a game of 17 games, 1 loss, 14 wins, 2 draws and still lose. So when you fall behind by 8 or 9 points, Gary, in my opinion, that's it. You're done.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But you still have to put your results in and get your wins. And then hopefully you hope that, we have to face City again. We have to face Liverpool again. That's 6 points. If we win them 2 games, that we're clawing back.
Yeah,
but
I
you can't
agree.
afford any more slip-ups. But, I mean, if Havertz is playing the 9, Havertz needs to play the 9. I understand why you put him in the 10 because you get the defensive side a bit better than Trossard.
Yeah.
But it leaves us weaker up top, right? So, I mean, that cross that Marino put in, that's where you want Havertz in that central area, getting across the front post to try and header that in.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly think that what I would do at halftime, and this might be controversial, I would take Martinelli off and put on Sterling. You've given Martinelli 45 minutes, and look, let's be fair and balanced here. I think Martinelli's really improved over the last 3 or 4 games. I think his first 4 games of the season was utter trash.
So I'm just seeing the goal now.
Yeah. Look at the delivery and look at the placement of the header. There's nothing they could do. He's dropped it right in the bucket of an ocean in between Saliba and Gabriel. The pace on the cross, probably the best cross you'll see in the Premier League this season.
Do you know all I would say for that goal there? When Thomas Partey heads that ball, he heads it straight to Isak, and then it's played out to the right. So that header from Partey has to be better to clear the ball further. So,
and we also got to be balanced, right? And sometimes when we talk, we never mention good players because it's almost like we don't want to criticize them.
Syndrome again went past his hand.
No, I think that there's nothing he could have done about that.
There's nothing he could have
so
done.
going back to the build up on it, as I said, sometimes we tend not to want to criticize good players. We tend to sort of leave them out and then pick on the ones that are not doing well. And so I have to say Jurrien Timber is sitting way too off Gordon on that cross. He's nowhere near him. He's 7-8 feet away from him, allowing Gordon to get that cross in for the goal. And realistically, Timber needs to be more physical with Gordon and stop him from getting that cross in. So I know you lot and I also, we love Timber, but not a single person has mentioned that. Everybody wants to try and talk about everybody else in that build up to the goal. But for me, Timber's just too far off the play there.
Do you know what it is about it? Because Timber's tucked in because he doesn't have to mark Gordon because the ball is being played across the other side of the field. So when Partey heads that ball, if he heads it out further, because he heads it and it goes right to Isak about 25 yards out from goal. And then when the ball is played out 1 touch, 2 touch, Timber can't get out because Gordon crosses the ball first time. Gordon doesn't take a touch. He crosses the ball first time. So Timber's never going to be in a position to shut him down because he's expecting the header to clear the danger and then reset himself to go again.
Yeah, and look, and as I said, it was preventable. I mean, every goal is preventable, but that's where I pick it up. I pick it up on number one, that yes, there's signs that it could have been prevented, but then number two, the quality of the goal and the cross and the header was just sublime. So
yeah, you can't take away from the quality of the cross in the header, but you've got to clear that ball. Party's got to do better with that header. He heads it straight to Isak. I mean, even if it skims off his head, it goes out for a corner.
Yeah.
Or head it.
And so I'm going against the grain. I'm going against the herd on this one. I think Newcastle deserved their lead at halftime, contrary to what everybody else thinks. Shout out to Fat Freddy in the house. He says, not the most popular performance in the first half. I think the performance has been decent. It's not. I don't think it's been great by any means. I think it's been a decent performance, and I think that we've tried. We're not getting into those positions in the final third, and I think the quality of the final ball has been lacking. But everything else has been okay. As I said to Gary, there could have been an instance where we could be 3-1 up in this half.
Yeah, Marino had one cleared off the line, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh no, I think it came off their player. I think, but yeah, he had one off the line. Was that Rice? I thought that was Declan Rice. I thought that was Rice.
No, Marino.
So we've had one cleared off the line. We've had a Saka chance there, and then we've had a poor ball from Trossard, which should have gone into Saka for a 1-on-1. So we could have scored 2 or 3 goals in this half, and I think that cannot be gone unsaid. So to say it's been a trash, woeful first half, I do not agree with. But credit for me to Newcastle on this one. Emerson, what's your thoughts on the first half?
I agree with all the points that you said before. I disappeared. Obviously, I had a toilet break, everything like that, and I was just working out what I'm going to have for lunch, which I've just sorted out in the fridge. That's the reason why you didn't hear me talk before. So I agree with all the points of what you and Gary have said, and as I said, whether they could take Martinelli off early in the second half, we'll have to wait and see. But he needs to do more. He needs to do more on his side of the pitch, and has to be wary when Gordon is attacking. He needs to help Timber out if that's the case, because he has to show more of his defensive side than his attacking side as well. So, and regarding that hot and cold players for Arsenal in the first half, I would say Havertz was quite useful. He was my hot player. My cold player was Martinelli. But obviously, as I said, he needs to work more on both sides of his game, defensive and offensive, when he goes forward, and needs to get a decent cross in, because we know what Saka can do on his side. So, although Saka's had a quiet game, he's had a few chances, but obviously they have been off target. So with headers, and with that ball that Trossard laid onto him, as Gary said and you said, it had to be light. It had to be much better and a bit lighter as well, because Saka was clear in goal and he would have scored with his left foot if he did have the chance. So everything sorted out for me at half time. Toilet break's done. Lunch is being sorted out. We'll have to sort out what drink of many that I've got in the fridge to choose to drink for at full time. Once we go off air, because then I focus on the 3:00 matches.
I'm on the coconut water today, as always. Shout out to all the Jamaicans. I'm on the coconut water at the moment. Shout out to all them Jamaicans in the house. Cranky says, brilliant goal.
I've got a mixture of all different drinks. I've got a mixture of different drinks. I've got Morby. I've got Morby, strawberry merienda, ginger beer, orange juice, apple juice, and pineapple juice to choose from. So I just had a sip. Just had a sip of water, so I don't bring it towards me while watching. So
man's got everything but the mango juice
for me for my lunch. So later on in the evening, I'm gonna have pasta.
Nice. I've got rice and
So
peas and jerk chicken.
at the moment, nothing's
I
going
got jerk
on the
chicken
TV.
later on. And Cam is saying, why are we not properly attacking
As I
from
say,
the
I've
right?
got pasta because there's a West Indian lady that I know who made it for me during the week.
Excellent,
I saw on Wednesday, and she made a, 2 pasta dishes for me. I've had one. Now I'm going to eat the second one for my dinner. I'm going to have about half of it today and half of it tomorrow, with cheese inside. Heat up obviously in the microwave.
Excellent.
So it should be quite nice because I gave it all the ingredients what I want. So it's going to have sardines, salmon, and obviously pasta in tomato sauce chopped up with onions.
Nice, bro.
So
Second
the
half is
team's
about to start.
coming out for the second half. As it started,
Yeah. Yes, about to start
yes,
second half.
because you see the.
So here we go, guys.
So whoever's in the fantasy team and Gordon in the same team have done well so far. They've doubled their points. So Arsenal about to kick off at any second now. I will let you know.
Garfield's on the
in front of you.
Here's a question for you guys. In January, would you go and splash the cash on Gyökeres, knowing that his manager has now gone to United? Because there's a fair chance that he's going to end up there.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, there is a video in his channel that said he agreed personal terms with Arsenal over the summer, which he did. But we just wasn't going to proc that. Well, not just us, but nobody was going to proc that 100 million release clause. And I was told, and I told this to you guys, and I said it on my channel, that they were going to drop that by 30%. They didn't drop it then, but I'm hearing that it's dropped now for January. So the thing is, he's scoring more goals than Haaland. You're dropping. Maybe they need the money badly. I don't know.
Here come Newcastle straight away. Gordon running at Gabriel. He slid it through to Willock, and Raya saves.
And so, 70 million euros for a player like that who scores more goals than Havertz is absolutely fantastic money. I would pull the trigger on that in a heartbeat.
Would you throw 80 million down in January?
I'd get Gyökeres. I'd bring in Gyökeres.
80 million in January.
Yeah, I would do that. I would definitely.
I wouldn't let it go to the summer now that his manager's gone to United.
Yeah, I mean the thing is also, guys, remember we do have what's that, Emerson?
Continue. I want to raise the point what Gary was going to say about the Man United manager.
Also, guys, there has been an added contract.
Look, Joe Linton again just tugging Saka back. This guy never gets a yellow card.
No, he doesn't.
This guy never gets a yellow card. He fouls all game long.
Yeah, all the time. I know.
Never gets a yellow card.
Yeah. It is. It's every single time. Every single time. Last year, I remember the elbow on Jorginho, and nothing gets done. And not does nothing get done, but the FA don't even do anything after the game to reprimand him. They just leave it and let it go. Only against Arsenal, mate. Fat Freddy says Apollo Sterling, Leo parties playing good. Not sure about 60 million, man. Needs to stay in the box vicinity. I think that's where Havertz should have had a goal in this game when he by tapping in that Havertz cross, that Saka cross. I don't know why he wasn't there. Normally, you'd expect him to get on the end of those things. And there goes Cranky with his Arteta's an awful game manager again, which we hear every game. Garfield says, pasta yum going French restaurant tonight. Yes, bro, with the snails. Yeah, Garfield. Boy, we got a lot to do when we meet up in Montenegro again. That's where I met Garfield, guys. I met him in Montenegro. He says, yes, Apollo, eat rice, peas, mackerel, callaloo with wild gravy at the gravy, yes. Depon it. And it says Gary Premier League is seemingly gone now for the Champions League. Yeah.
Saka's just got tripped. No foul.
Yeah, that should be a free kick. Newcastle just nearly scored in the second.
Gary,
Yeah.
reference to your point about the Man United manager about Man United, Man United. Well, I'm not sure if you've heard from or seen any links from Portugal from last night. Sporting Lisbon manager has said he's not going to buy any Sporting Lisbon players in the summer. So whether he'll make a move like we are potential in January, we'll have to wait and see. But he did say he's not going to buy any Man United players in the summer. So if they're looking for a new centre half, where Arsenal may look at that giant I'm not sure what his name is, but I know he's a giant in the Sporting Lisbon defence as well. So watch this space regarding the Man United as new manager, what he's going to ship out and what he's going to bring in January, because I think they've given him a war chest so far, but they haven't revealed how much the war chest is worth as yet. And also, he's going to ship out all the backroom staff. So Van Nistelrooy is going to be out of a job once he comes in, and the two ex-medical men from Arsenal, they're also going to be shipped out as well, because I'm sure he'll bring his own medical people. Like obviously the coaches, like first team coach, assistant coach, goalkeeping coach. And medical people. So we have to wait and see who he's going to bring in, because that was only the stumbling block what was holding the deal up, because he wanted to see if he can bring his own medical people. Obviously, Man United got his release clause, so there's a bit on the cheap side. I think that should have been worth at least 20 million in all with the package.
Cranky says we're losing, and Emerson is talking about Man
So
United.
that's my knowledge about Man United's new manager. Here we go. Oh, what's happening here? Oh, corner. Trossard went on a dribble, and it has led to a corner, because you guys will see it shortly. I'll let you talk about it when you see it.
But you see there, when Martinelli's played Trossard through, he's got a one-touch kill that shoot. It's the bad touch and allows Dan Burn to get across and clear the ball. He can even hit that first time, Trossard, but he takes the bad touch and it allows the defender to get across.
And that's a decent ball from Martinelli. Martinelli getting a lot of flack for his creative game. It's a nice ball in from Martinelli. And maybe it's the Theo Walcott syndrome, where just play it quickly. Don't sit on it and take too much time on the ball. Theo was a very impactful player for those reasons. He scored a lot of goals, had a lot of assists for that reason. Just because the manager, Wenger, just told him to just act quickly. Everything you do, just act quickly with it. Don't sit on it. It's a shame Jesus didn't get the memo either. I've never seen a player that sits on the ball as much as Jesus does. Good pressure here from Arsenal in the second half.
Look, Joe Linton again, look, just into the back of fucking Marine. What?
Ooh,
come on, man.
Gary, we get demonetized for that, mate.
He's into the back of Marino's, he's heading the ball. How's he not foul? It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Every game I watch this Joe Linton play, he's a thug. He just goes around fouling people. He never picks up a yellow card.
Yeah. It's been like that for years, though. We've been seeing that for years. 18 as well, saying no swearing, Gary. Yeah, Gary,
Did I swear?
Yeah, you did.
I'll leave the swearing to Apollo.
No, because we get demonetized this is a channel that kids can watch as well. So I do it for kids.
I apologize for my language.
So all that happens is the algorithm picks it up, and then I get a nice little email saying that it's demonetized. So I have to change the settings.
Fine, it's all right.
Craig is saying Joe Linton getting a he. This is what Gary's saying. Joe Linton always gets away with that. Him and Gomares, the two players, every time we play them, always get away with that. Always. And look,
Tonali looks like he's having on for Newcastle.
Unbelievable. It wouldn't surprise me if Saka got booked for that. Did you see
Tonali
Look at that.
But this is where the captain needs to go to the ref and say, listen, this Joe Linton character.
Yeah.
How many times?
But he's not an experienced captain. But yeah, I agree with you. He's not an experienced captain. He should go in and give as good as he's got.
Yeah, but you've got Rice on the field, you've got Gabriel on the field, you've got Saliba on the field.
Eddie Howe talking to Tonali there. Yeah, I said it in the first half. You need to put Sterling on for Martinelli. I said that in the first half, Garfield. The game will turn.
Hope he's dodgy as hell with the ball at his feet.
Havertz needs to get into this game. Normally, Havertz is one of the people who's pulling the strings with us, and he's been nowhere in this game. Havertz just cannot get into this game. I guess Tonali might be coming off the bench then.
No, you know what it is, Garfield? Some players make me sick because they just get away with murder. But when Arsenal make one little foul, they get a yellow card. I don't understand it.
And you just saw there. I mean, Arsenal really gaining momentum at the moment, guys. They're really starting to open Newcastle up. Obviously, I mean, look, that's good play there by Trossard.
I find it funny how the ref can see every single foul that Arsenal commit, but nothing that other teams commit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's better there. That's a good run from Trossard. That's better. Garfield saying Gary's crying. Hey, listen, Gary just got his power back. He's sitting in the room
Gary
with two cans.
Three long leaves to run from the kitchen. I've got one socket in the kitchen. That's it.
He's got four candles in the room as well. Oh man. Come on, lads. You can see the game starting to turn now. Come on, guys.
It's a terrible ball by Havertz.
Good, well played there by Raya to get that ball out there. Declan Rice, again, I was saying Declan Rice has had a good game, but we're missing Partey in the midfield, man. How much would Partey able to influence? Havertz, horrible giving the ball
away
there.
as well. And it's a yellow card. Look, Marino makes one tackle, yellow card. Come on, man.
Wow.
Jesus, my Christ.
Wow.
Makes one tackle, yellow card. But Joe Linton can go around beating people up all day long and doesn't even know what a yellow card looks like.
That's not even a yellow card, mate.
That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
Apollo.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Although I wonder if he's given it. This just doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Go on, now. Come on, Martinelli. Burst pass. Well, mind you, there's no point in bursting past because you ain't got a left foot. Yeah, let's just go down here and let's sort of lose the ball. Look, this guy.
Touch it, will it?
He
didn't even touch it.
Partey missed that by a country mile.
Yeah. Garfield says, Gary, I hear you, bro. Now Arsenal get a yellow card. Yeah. Cam says, I think we need to bring Zinchenko on for Trossard. Good call. Good call, bro.
So long as Zinchenko stays away from our goal, I don't care where he plays.
And put Moreno high up the pitch. We need to move it faster, and I can have more presence in the front up front. I think Moreno's on a yellow card. I think you take him off. I think you take Moreno off. You put Declan at number 8. You put Partey back at the 6, and then put Skelly in there at right back.
But don't forget, Partey's also on a yellow card.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't take him off though. I'll put him in the midfield.
Sorry, that's my bad. He didn't get a yellow card.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost approaching the hour. You got to make some choices because this is just it's not good enough.
Yeah, that's a good shot for Zinchenko. But if Zinchenko can't get on at left back, he got a hell of a chance getting on at this game. I wouldn't be surprised to see Zinchenko sold in January. Another free kick against Timber. This is just the referee's going all Newcastle's way. But I just want to say, guys, the creativity is predicated on Havertz and Trossard. And when they don't play well, we don't play well. 10 minutes, still not a shot on goal. Arteta has to do something, yeah? Yep, I agree.
Like I picked the right.
Even I know he's back to come on, guys.
And Zinchenko. When Yeri and Zinchenko getting ready.
Whoa, that shut you lot up, didn't it? Everyone talking about Wanyeri and moaning and blasting. That kind of quiet you lot up in the chat. Arsenal seem frustrated. Yeah, Newcastle are doing a good job of frustrating us. They really are. Cam saying, Zinchenko, yeah, same thing. Yep, let's see what they can do. It's probably what the game needs. And it's not. It's barely 60 minutes yet. Nice early changes. What the
subs are on.
Yep, good.
Marino off. And Martinelli off.
Yep, perfect, fantastic.
Now, the question is, where does Shevchenko play?
Shevchenko, he retired years ago. So I'll put Ranieri will go to the left, and surely Zinchenko will go into the middle. No,
I would expect so.
Or
Yeah.
Trossard goes to the left.
So first of all, someone's got to fill the 8, right? So is Zinchenko filling the 8, and then Trossard goes out wide, and then where's Wanyeri going to play?
Ranieri looks like he's gone into the 10.
To the 10, yeah. There you go, guys. Wanyeri on after 60 minutes. Wouldn't it be great if he scored today, wouldn't it?
It'd be great if he just created something.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Joe
That's a foul. Scissor tackle. Straight away, he turns inside Willock, and Willock scissor tackle, yellow card. Thank you very much.
And Tonali's about to come on for Newcastle shortly.
Yeah, I thought that was about to happen. Right, so yes, it's Ranieri goes into the Odegaard role. Timber goes to right back now, guys. And Zinchenko at left back. And Partey has gone into the base of the midfield.
Oh, Havertz was inches away from getting that in front of Pope. Inches. He should have just stuck out a foot there. Stick out a foot there. That's where you stick out a foot. Got to be braver than that, man. Stick out a foot, you get clattered. It's a penalty all day long. Great tackle when there. That's not. How was the referee blew to give that a free kick? You know. And look, another foul by Joe Linton. Look. Even in the clocking up process, 4 fouls, 4 or 5 fouls must be a yellow card, even if it's not a bad foul.
Yeah.
But no, just nothing.
Close by Rice. Very close by Rice.
Oh, just past the post. It's a corner, I think. Oh, look at that. So close.
Question.
Coming off for Tonali.
Yeah, I thought so. I think Rice has had a decent game there. That's well played by Rice. That's unlucky. Fat Freddy says, why has Partey got Thomas on his shirt and not Partey? He's been doing that from when he was young and when he was at Atletico. And he's saying it's because that's how people recognize him. Obviously, everybody calls him Thomas. So that's the reason why he's got Thomas on the back of his shirt. The same thing happened when he came to Arsenal as well. He says it's because people are more familiar with calling him. We call him Partey as fans, but the people in his circle and his teammates call him Thomas. So that's why he's had it on the back of his shirt. Simple reason, really.
I actually call him Partey.
Yeah. Hey, only Millie Jackson fans from the 70s and 80s remember what Partey actually is. Yeah? Hint, hint, wink, wink. Yeah, for all of you Millie Jackson fans out there and the dirty people and all. All right, so Craigie says, and the great Trossard survives must be to see. It's because again the utility of having
Timber's just the player got booked.
Timber got booked.
Yeah, on Tonali. But it looks like Tonali made a meal of it though.
Yeah, game's
because he went over. He didn't
bit.
even. Doesn't look like Timber even touched him. So we're racking up the bookings now.
Just caught his
I know
toe.
it's mad.
Garfield says Tonali has a bet for Arsenal to win.
Mad.
Apollo, you didn't ask Gary for his prediction.
In this game? Actually, yeah, Gary started late. Yeah, Gary, I didn't get your prediction for this game. He started,
well, before the game, I would have said 2-0 to Arsenal, but obviously Newcastle scored first. But I think the way we're playing, I think we'd be lucky to get a 1-0. We're not even having any shots. You know, it's not.
But what would you have said before? I went 1-0 Arsenal before the game.
I would have said 2-0 Arsenal.
So you're both out the equations. I'm the only one who's still running at the moment. So you're both out the equation. I'm still running at the moment at a close to 1 win time.
Yeah, we can't drop points here because it would be a disaster to start off this week. We're away to Chelsea, away to Inter Milan. Good effort there by Declan Rice again, winning that corner. Camp says, we've finished second in 2 seasons in a row to a cheating club. We should look at Man United for a lesson in thinking the grass is always greener. It's mad. It's mad. Yeah, right. Listen, I think it's going to be a toss-up. I think Rice at the moment is playing.
And the corner played to the back post, and Trossard side flips it towards goal, and again it's blocked on the line. They had about 4 players there blocking the ball on the line.
and one was holding either Saliba or Gabriel M in that move.
Yeah, it was Guimaraes, I think, with his arm round Saliba's neck.
That was another block. Crack is saying Pope hasn't made a single save. Yeah, that's because he's had 2 saved off the line. But yeah, I take your point. Definitely take your point. But yes, he's had his defenders knocked 2 off the line. Cam says, I hate Joe Linton so much. How is he escaping getting sent off every game? I have no idea. Joe Linton has 15 fouls and no yellow card. Garfield still saying it's going to be 2-1 Arsenal. D saying these are the kind of games where you need pacing behind to play balls on. That's why I'm saying Sterling has got to get on. I still don't understand why he didn't put Sterling on. I mean, I'm not Jesus' biggest fan, but you've got options. You've got options. I agree.
Oh, Zinchenko. What was that, Zinchenko? He went to fake the pass and kicked the ball straight to the Newcastle player.
And Garfield says Man United will finish. All right, it can finish Chelsea off for us. Well played, Gabriel, there. I can hear pinging on somebody's computer there.
Yeah, it might be mine, you know.
Should they have started when
Ben White and Jesus is about to come on, guys, so we'll not see Sterling whatsoever, I reckon.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I don't understand the thinking. You know, you're bringing on Jesus. This guy doesn't really produce nothing. Sterling is a player that can produce something out of nothing with a run, with a dribble. You know what I mean? He's got pace, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, I agree.
He's just got booked on.
You can see in the background, Raheem Sterling.
I mean, that's not a yellow card, is it? When you look at what Joe Linton's done in the game tonight, he's made 1 tackle. And it's a legitimate attempt to get the ball.
Trossard's gone off for Jesus. Trossard's gone off for Jesus, and Timber is off for Ben White. So it looks like Partey's gone back in midfield now.
Yeah, I agree with you, D.
So we've just changed our back 4 complete now. I think that pipping noise you can hear it's the tablet on my lap. It's just telling me something that I have to watch after this match from the Caribbean. That's what it is, I think. So it goes off when I get a notification of when it's about to start. So it's about to start in the Caribbean because obviously they're 5 hours behind. But I'll watch that at a later date because I'm not interested at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, D. We shouldn't be relying on referees, but we've got to create more opportunities. And Jesus, honestly.
He says, Gary, we need to rely on the refs. We can't rely on the refs. We have to play to win. I agree. I said this in my last podcast at the Emirates Stadium after the Liverpool game. Arteta not signing a striker over the summer did not help us one bit. Cam says, how can Zinchenko fail to pass 2 yards forward? Zinchenko honestly makes me want to cry. Yeah, I agree. Poor Sterling. Did you see Sterling in the background just put his big overcoat on? He was like, that's it. Wrapping up today. I'm not getting on the field. What's going on, Andrew? A lot of frustration here in the chat, Andrew. Lot of frustration here in the chat. I'm looking to add balance, but unfortunately, a lot of people are leaning the negative way today. Like Ten Hag, Liga, and Rashford. On
Saka's down, right? Saka's down again, so keep an eye on it.
I think Lewis all fell on him, didn't he?
He's back up though. He's back up now, but he's limping at the moment as we speak. So whether that's the Achilles injury playing up again, we have to wait and see. So he's definitely holding the back of his calf.
Head at the ball. He came down and landed on the back of Saka's leg. Totally
the Achilles area, but he's up and running anyway. So he didn't go off the pitch for the 30 seconds. So
yeah, Saka can't even move. Like he's hobbling. He can't even do anything.
Just needs the magic sponge, then it'll be up and running again. Or spray they use nowadays. They don't use the magic sponge.
Fat Freddy says, "Why are so many ticky-tacky yellow cards?" I'm lost with this referee and what he's doing. Fat Freddy. Andrew says, "Can Arteta assemble a squad? He is completely uncomfortable."
Come off, by the way.
Yeah,
Saka is struggling.
I think this summer they obviously had constraints where things just didn't work out on the striker tip, to be honest. But that doesn't discount the injuries and suspensions he's had to deal with. The red cards, the 3 red cards, having to play for an hour against top teams. It's just been one frustration after the other. But I think that they've assembled a good squad, but losing Smith Rowe and Eddie, I think, worked against them. As much as a lot of people said, we got 60 million for them and whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Like a fight injury.
It's basically turned the summer purchasing like Calafiori and Moreno into a negative. I think the net spend was 4 million. So we didn't really spend any money this season, if I'm honest. And maybe that was for a reason. We've had losses for the last 4 years in a row. So the financial next year is probably going to be a positive for Arsenal. Maybe that's what they wanted, to put the club in a more healthy position. But we also knew that the money was there. There was another 60, 80 million there in case that a striker came along. And quite frankly, nobody at the price range fell into their lap. So they went for Isco, they went in for Yukores, and they wasn't willing to go above the asking price. So that's it on that one, really. Cam says, you'd think that we were 3-0 up with the lack of urgency out there. Don't look like scoring if we played another 90 minutes.
Yeah, but it's been like that a lot, isn't it? It's not just this game where you can say that.
So what happens when you don't have Odegaard in the team? Man City lose De Bruyne, and then they stick Foden in, and it's like nothing changes. But with us, we got rid of Smith Rowe, we got rid of that backup number 10 and didn't replace him. That's what's baffling. We all knew, didn't we, that if Odegaard went down, we'd be screwed. And that's exactly what's happened, and here we are. It's not rocket science, guys. It's not rocket science.
But reference to that Odegaard point, that Apollo, that you just made, that you realise that tackle, that injury occurred in the Brighton game. It did. It obviously, we saw him with an ice pack on it. When he got substituted, everything like that. Obviously, he played the first game for Norway, and obviously that player that tackled him made the ankle worse. So really, most Arsenal fans don't realise it occurred on the Brighton match when he first got that tackle on that same spot of the ankle. And as I said, when he was on international duty, when he got that foul, it was on the same spot. And as we said, what treatment he received afterwards when he returned to the training ground and had to be assessed by, obviously, the Norwegian national club doctor. Then, obviously, Arsenal's club doctors got involved. Then the rest is history after that. So fingers crossed he should be back sooner than later, because some other podcasters said he's going to be out until Christmas or early in the New Year. But we'll wait and see. Because this game and the Inter Milan game would have been ideal for him. Oh, close. Just overplayed it by Partey to Nwaneri. And both Howe and his assistant are still working out a game plan of how to break down Arsenal in discussion. So, over to you guys.
I don't think Newcastle have to do anything different. They've scored a goal, and I think it's a case of Arsenal. It's up to Arsenal to break them down. Do you know what I mean? Newcastle don't have to do nothing barring what they're doing.
Yeah.
Arsenal were not shooting. They're not. There's no shot. I haven't seen one shot in this half. Played 30 odd minutes and not one shot. I think Arteta gets one more season, to be honest. You know, you're 4.5 years into his plan, and when things are going against us, there's no change of play. There's no nothing.
Well, let's just say from where I sit, thank God that it's down to Josh Kroenke to make that decision, and he definitely won't make that decision to get rid of him. I can promise you that. But all this means is that
Gary, if he did go, how much do you reckon Odegaard's worth?
Eh?
If Odegaard does go, what value would you put him at?
It's the best number 10 in football.
No, I'm not talking about getting rid of Odegaard. I'm talking about Arteta.
Oh, Arteta. Oh, well. We've lost out on the Man United manager, but as I said, so he would have been my ideal replacement.
Yeah, Man United have got a good manager. They really do have a good manager. I was surprised, actually, that he joined them. I was surprised.
Zinchenko, why don't you just play the ball to Partey? What are you trying to do with your life? Well done, Gabriel. Fantastic.
Here come Newcastle on the attack.
Yeah, Gabriel snuffs that out.
Yeah. Yeah, Foden's not doing anything this season. He's been a disaster for Man City. Yeah,
what minutes are you on, guys?
I'm on 81 minutes 30. And I'm on 81:25.
81:50 at the moment on mine, because obviously I'm watching it live on TNT.
Jesus, come on, man. Havertz just went down in the box there. Yeah, let's get Ten Hag in. Great idea.
That's what's going to happen.
No chance.
You guys are laughing about it, but that's normally what happens in these situations. Is they're picking up these managers from everywhere now who don't have Premier League experience.
Yeah, the thing is, 18 things that where he's done nothing, but he hasn't had the ball. Give him the ball, let him see what he can do.
He's a number 10, Gary. He's supposed to have more touches than anyone on the pitch.
Yeah, but if you're not passing him the ball, what do you want him to do?
Well, he has to receive the ball. That's what I'm saying. That's the number 10's job. The part of what made Ozil and Odegaard great is that they can run into those empty spots in his pockets to pick up the ball. Ethan's he's a huge quality talent. But those that remember, I had this conversation with you in midweek in terms of why you would leave somebody out. It's not just talent. It takes them. And I used Moreno and Declan Rice as an example where they've said it's going to take us time to pick up the system, the tactics, where I need to be, how I need to impose myself on the game. That's from Declan Rice and Moreno. So for a 17-year-old to be put in that position, people just are not thinking about football when they're making those comments. They're just thinking about the player and the results. It's a difficult thing to do, picking up a system and tactics. And that's where what I've been told from the training ground as to why he hasn't started this season. And I totally agree with it. There's more fundamentals than just being talented.
The lovely cross by Saka, and it gets to Jesus at the far post, and he's trying to control it.
Saka gets the crossing again.
And nicks it off his foot.
Oh.
And do you know what? Gordon didn't win the ball. He actually took Jesus first.
So then that's a penalty then, Gary.
He actually took Jesus first. He didn't win the ball.
Yeah. Then that's the penalty. That's a penalty then, mate.
He actually took Jesus first. See, when Jesus sees him coming...
Gordon's gone off. Harvey Barnes is on.
Jesus has just got to put his body in front and it's a penalty. Just instead of trying to control it, just step across the run, get clattered, it's a penalty.
So the threat's gone off for Newcastle.
Yeah.
Harvey Barnes has just come on with just over 5 minutes, with over 5 minutes to go, plus injury time.
Yeah, this we got 5 minutes left. This is a disaster result for Arsenal, honestly, and it's the one result that is going to take them away from winning the title for me. If they didn't win today, for me the title was gone, and quite frankly, that's where I'm at with this at the moment now.
Thomas Partey's just gone off, and Jorginho's just come on.
See what I mean? What?
If the result stays as it is, and Man City and Liverpool win, you are 8 points behind City, and 7 points behind Liverpool. It's too much. That's too much after 10 games. Unless something happens where those two teams capitulate, title is out of your hands right now. And to be honest with you, all the injuries and red cards, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Does not surprise me in the slightest. I think we done well in the initial games where we had that tough 5-game schedule at the beginning, but it's just eroded us. It's just had the better of us. Yeah, I agree with Cranky there. It says we need a goal and we're putting on Jorginho. We should have put on Sterling.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Poor management, sorry.
Andrew says Apollo this season is starting to derail. It was derailing from when Odegaard got injured 2 months ago. That's when it derailed. All we were doing, bro, was papering over the cracks. One game like this is not a signal for us that it's derailing. As soon as we started having those suspensions and injuries, and our best player, by the way, Odegaard, most creative
and
number 10.
Jorginho's made one tackle and got a yellow card.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean,
he's made one tackle and got a yellow card,
and that's just the referee thing, isn't it? Yeah, the same what happened with Moreno.
It's not even a foul.
Tackle. Yeah,
it's not even a foul.
Yeah, yeah. I can promise you, Andrew, that if Arteta fails this year, they will not get rid of him. They will not get rid of him.
That's why I said he's got one more season after this. And if he doesn't deliver, he's got to go.
Yeah. Havertz has been completely missing today. He's just been an absolute non-factor.
You know, at this point in the game, right, you might as well put Big Gabby up front and just keep knocking that ball long. Havertz and Gabriel after it and see if you can get something.
Yes, for me, that's the biggest thing. Sterling's not even played a minute in this game when we've need something impactful up front. That's just a missed opportunity. How has he not played is beyond me. Apollo, Arteta should have managed some games better while accommodating the loss of Odegaard. He should have, I agree. But then considering when Odegaard went out and the games that he's played, take, for instance, we went away to Spurs. Not one Arsenal fan thought we were going to win that game without Odegaard. And yet we did. Does that make sense? So in one hand, we're saying, yes, it's been difficult and he hasn't managed it well. But on other aspects, he has managed it well. He has managed it very, very well. But it's just about that consistency. You know, this is the Premier League. Not every manager gets it right. And you have to face the reality that he was dealt with. And I'm not sticking up for him. I'm saying, yes, I agree. Arteta should have managed games better. Even today, you've got no Raheem Sterling and you've lacked pace, intensity up front and movement. And he's the one player that can give you that. So for me, I think Arteta's substitutions...
So unlucky, man.
In this game,
he just couldn't control the ball.
It's been woeful. I unlike you lot, I wouldn't have put Wanyeri on when he did. But you guys were all begging for him. And since he's come on, he's done absolutely nothing. And it's part of the reason why I said to Gary is that you have to take your time with players like him so that they can pick up the tactics and the philosophy. Talent cannot get you everywhere. We know that. Look what happened to Pepe. Pepe was probably the most talented player on our team in terms of being gifted. Yeah. And look what happened to him. If it's not just about talent, it's about you picking up the system, understanding the fundamentals of the philosophy and applying that.
Guys.
And applying that in the game. So I personally, I wouldn't have given Wanyeri half an hour in this game.
Havertz is out here. Havertz needs to be in the box.
Yeah.
First time Wanyeri gets on the ball in a dangerous thing and he hits a shot, but it's wide.
Yeah.
But Havertz is out playing with Saka. Why isn't Havertz in the box? You need your centre forward in the box.
Yeah.
You know, you're playing the 9. Go play the 9. Why are you putting out and occupying Saka's space?
And D says, doesn't rotate his squad well. I think he's rotated better this season, actually. I think most of us have agreed, D, that he's rotated the squad better this season. But again, I've talked about the Wanyeri thing, and I'm also going to go back to the well and say that I think Newcastle have played really well today. They've been helped by the referee. Of course, I think we can all agree the referee, the yellow card.
How's that a foul?
Newcastle should be on 6 or 7 yellow cards. Yeah, and that's on the referee. But in regards to the first half, I thought Newcastle, I think they've outplayed us. And the goal was brilliant. Andrews
got player of the match.
There are occasions when doubt enters Arteta's mind and he's not bold with his decisions. Yeah, I agree. We can all agree that. In the same way, we've said that about Pep. Pep used to really overthink his game plan, didn't he? Pep used to, and that used to get him into trouble. Most of the reason why Guardiola didn't win the Champions League initially for all those years is because he just tended to overthink stuff and then put doubt in his mind. And I think Arteta's there. But as I've said many times, you expect it. Arteta's in his 4th year of managementship. You expect it. So you guys are all surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all.
Go on, Wanyeri. That's it, son.
For me, Raheem Sterling not playing in this game is the biggest misjustice.
That doesn't make no sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you're relying on Gabriel Jesus to do what exactly?
Yeah, exactly. He hadn't scored in 23 games, and last week when we put him on, I was like, it's just confusing
Oh,
why you're
great. Declan
playing.
Rice has got to score. The header is weak, and he's put it past the post, and he on target. He's in. What a cross from Saka.
Gary, don't worry, it's Arteta's fault. Declan had.
And my point regarding them, where
Declan was dead to
go on,
rights
go
there.
on, continue. Oh,
Look at that cross from Saka.
and my debate on and then where the situation is, I think Arteta is doing the right thing by playing the way that, if you remember how Mainu, the youngster from Man United, came on the scene last season after his injury, and the rest was history after that. He's played all the matches up to then, and now he's currently injured. So I think it's best to ease Nwaneri in the Premiership matches and play him like in the Carabao Cup and possibly one or two of the main of the Champions League matches, depending on of what the tactics the opposition is going to play.
Yeah.
So that is my debate on where we.
Yeah, and Andrew has just said a lot of fans do not want a learner or a novice manager. There is an experience. Is there an experienced individual to take the squad forward? But the majority of the fans do want that, Andrew. As you know, I go to the stadium every game. He is so loved, so well supported. This is the best culture, in my opinion, that Arsenal have ever had. I've never seen a culture like this before. Even at Highbury, the way the fans are supporting this team now is incredible. So there is a lot of fans that do want him. Arteta has a massive, strong support in the club. But at the same time, yes, he's a learner, and he's learning on the job. That's what we've got. That's the cards that we're dealt with.
Jesus can't even hold the ball, man.
Yeah,
woeful.
Yeah, I can't believe how he's missed.
And my tip is,
yeah, the game's over.
5 minutes added on, guys. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
That's fun. Yeah,
I just realised I was just seen it, and I'm a bit late. Sorry about that. But as I said, my tip for the manager, Jurgen Klopp, after his break.
Nah, he won't come to Arsenal.
If that was the case.
No, he's already signed for an MLS team. He's already signed for, I believe it's New York.
I just think that Arteta's got to win got to place emphasis on one of the cups.
Yeah, but that's the promote their drinks. That's Havertz is the latest player that got booked. But regarding that Klopp's thing, you said he signed for it's more like for their drinks company.
Yeah, he's signed to New York.
Just promote their drinks company, but he can still come back as money.
So that's it, guys. Game's over, and
game over, guys.
Have lost.
Result.
They've lost. That's a terrible result. And for me, that puts you out of the pecking order for the title. That does for me.
Yeah, I agree.
That puts you well out of the pecking order for the title.
He said.
And
I think for me,
I've gone for my prediction from second now to third.
I think for me, when you're chasing a game, you've got to have a bit more urgency. So why wouldn't you stick Gabriel up top? Forget this stupid passing it across the back four. Just put the ball in the mix and see what comes of it. Because what you're trying to do hasn't worked for 95 minutes, but you've kept going the same way, and you're not producing anything. You bring Jesus on, and he doesn't really bring anything to this team anymore. You've got Sterling on the bench, who doesn't get a look in. I don't understand that. You need a goal, you take Partey off, bring Jorginho on. What are you expecting to happen? It's bad management, however you look at it. It's bad management. And for me now, going on for the rest of this season, Arteta needs to win one of these cups. And then next season, he's got one more year in my book to get a striker in yeah, and go for this league title because I think he's placing so much emphasis on defence. We're losing the attacking philosophy of our team, and we saw it last season up until Christmas, and after Christmas we was blowing teams away. So it's like he's playing within ourselves, and then all of a sudden he releases the handbrake and they go and he's smashing teams 4-0, 5-0, 5-0, 6-0. We saw it last season. But to win the title, you've got to be consistent throughout, and when you're not doing it, you have to find a way to make something happen. And unfortunately, that was absolutely terrible today. I saw the second, not one shot. Pope didn't have to make one save in that second half. And when you're chasing the game, that is just not good enough in my book. And that's all I've got to say on the whole matter.
Yeah, Emerson, what's your thoughts?
As I said, it was a bad result today. Credit goes to Newcastle. The hustle and bustle like they always do. They grinded out the result.
I think that's where I am with it as well.
Also, I may add that their set piece coach got it spot on regarding the goal.
Yeah, I think that's where I am as well.
So that's what I think.
Yeah, for me, credit to Newcastle. They were the better team today. There's no two ways about it. There's no denying it. No matter how much criticism I want to throw at Arsenal, and believe me, there's a lot. Number one, the changes that the manager made was awful. I would not have brought on Wanyeri when he did. And maybe he'll learn a lesson from that. Maybe he'll learn a lesson from that moving forward. Where was Raheem Sterling in the 60th minute, which is when he should have come on to apply more help and pressure? I thought Declan Rice had a fantastic game, probably the best Arsenal player on the pitch, in my opinion, along with Thomas Partey. But then Declan Rice misses that easy header at the back, and it just shows you the class, doesn't it? Isak gets one chance, quality cross, same Saka put that quality on it, teed it up there for Declan Rice, and the finish was just awful. And he's got to wear that on the chin, and that's just really summed up the day. So the players have got to take that they're spanking as well as the manager. But at the end of the day, as Emerson said, and as I said previously before, Newcastle got it spot on. They got it spot on today in all levels, but they got away with murder as well. They should have been down to 10 men. How have they only got? I don't even know how many. Let me check and see how much yellow cards they've got. I'm just checking that now.
I think they got 4, didn't they? 3 or 4.
Hold on, match stats. Yeah, bookings.
I mean, how Joe Linton doesn't get a yellow card in every single game, I have no idea.
It's nuts, mate. It's absolutely nuts. So we had one shot on target in the whole game.
Yeah, that's just not good enough. I say when you're chasing the lead with 5 or 6, 7 odd minutes to go, you have to change it up, right? So why not take Gabriel, put him up front, and just knock the ball long? Forget this tiki-taka rubbish. Take the ball, knock it long. You've got Havertz 6'4", Gabriel 6'4". Get them up, jumping, get the players in sniffing around them, and see what you can produce. Because that's going out in a whimper. I don't care how. I don't mind losing, but it's how you lose. So you've got to be creating chances and show that you're actually trying to do something. We created one chance, Rice fluffs it, but one chance in 45 minutes when you're chasing a title. I'm just disappointed. It's really disappointed with that. It's got to be better.
All right, guys, you could carry on talking among yourselves. I'm just doing the player ratings here.
Gary, did you see the result from the under-21s last night?
Yeah, they lost 2-1, didn't they?
Yeah. Away to Chelsea, unfortunately. And under 18s obviously drew 1-1 today. So the ladies it's got to cheer us all up tomorrow. But I know you're not interested in ladies football, so. because we don't talk about ladies football on this channel anyway. So not that. So as I said, they're interviewing Isaac at the moment as we speak.
I agree with Cranky. I mean, Newcastle didn't have to be good to win today. They got a goal. And with teams like Newcastle, I mean, do you remember at the Emirates Apollo when we was at the Newcastle game a couple of seasons ago? And with teams like this, the worst thing you can do is let them take the lead, because they defend and they play physical, and you've got to match them. And if you can't, and you're not creating, I mean, we've got enough out on that pitch to create chances. I mean, one shot on target for the whole 95 plus minutes. That's pants. That's absolute pants.
That's on us.
Oh.
You struggle
just to let you know, TNT has now
struggled to break teams down
to the cricket.
Say even with Odegaard in the team, we struggle to break teams down. So you've got to come up with something else. You have to come up with a shot from distance or a cross. But even like we're crossing the ball and there's no one in the middle, and then Rice fluffs the header. I'm just so disappointed in that, man. To go out like that, it's unbelievable. Absolutely shocking.
Right, guys, I'm just finishing up now.
Yeah, they're just showing what's going to be shown live on TV in the next 24 hours, because you've got boxing, cricket, rugby, and motorcycling.
Come in the league now. If the teams below us all win today, we go down to where in the league? I think we'll end up 5th or something, won't we?
Yeah, we would. So let me just go through this before player ratings. Cranky says Havertz are not centre forward. Garfield, have United have more successful in the last 5 years than Arsenal? Serious question. Well, they've both won trophies, haven't they? And then obviously United not having any Champions League football, it kind of goes in bouts. But I think United probably would be the fact that they haven't been in Champions League. I think that's an issue there, which is why you say Arsenal are the most successful team. And Cranky there, stating the obvious without Odegaard. And as I said, Odegaard, the best number 10 in football, best creative footballer that is in Europe, leads all leagues. And yes, we struggle without him, just as any other team would without their best player. Look at Crystal Palace without Michael Olise. Look what happened before Kevin De Bruyne came on, before Foden came on the scene. When De Bruyne was out, they couldn't do anything. And also look what they do without Rodri, who's not a number 10, but I'm talking about defensively as well. When teams miss their best players, they are impotent at every level. So yes, I agree with you, Cranky. It is stating the obvious, though. Even with Saliba, Arsenal's success rate of winning with Saliba 76%, without him 45%. So it's a 30% swing difference when one player's not there in terms of the defensiveness. So yes, that's quite that's quite obvious. This project has been a failure. I don't think it has. I think that's harsh words considering how close we've got to City over the last 2 years and what City have been doing as well. It's just unfortunate. That's where it is. If it is. Yeah, and look, this is where the fans normally go into meltdown, so you got to allow it, innit? You got to give them their space to vent. It's fair. The fans are going to come out now and go mad on this weekend. I'm going to focus on the Formula One and the Skins playing the Giants tomorrow and try and top off my weekend with some happiness rather than go into meltdown. I just don't think that I think the energy it requires for that is wasted, to be honest with you. I still want to get out and enjoy my life. Concrete Jungle says, well, fans keep saying, oh, we give Ethan. I know, that's what I've been saying. This is what happens. This is why fans don't make good managers, my friend. This is why fans do not make good managers. Everybody in the world knew that this team needed, and Arteta addressed it, no Saka backup. I think Saka has got a backup. In fact, he's got 2 backups now. He's got Sterling and Jesus. But the problem is, you put on the guy who ain't scored in 23 games. They did it last week. That makes no sense
to me.
And that's on the manager. Yeah, that's on the manager. That the manager cannot put a player who, quite frankly, is shot. Yeah, that's my. We can't say that about Martinelli because Martinelli has shown some reprieval in his game, so you have to credit that. First 4 games, he was awful. The next 4 games after that, Martinelli was decent, scored 2 goals, had a couple of assists. So you got to put your hands up where credit's due. But with Jesus just looks shot. He just looks shot. And yes, he got a goal against Preston in the midweek. I'm not going to account anything for that. The fact that he's broken his 23-game duck, it bears nothing on me because these are the games where it counts. And he puts him on instead of Raheem Sterling. I don't get that.
What was I don't understand why. What was the point of signing Sterling for? What, to play in the Carabao Cup?
I know.
Makes no sense.
Yeah. What's going on, Vincey? Hope all is well, bro. It said these are the same fans that wanted Trossard to start. I know, but this is what I'm saying. The fans are saying sack the manager, play Ethan Winieri, blah, all of this stuff, and it all turns out to be just. Look, football is about opinions. It's subjective. Fans are allowed to. We employ fans to give us our opinions, but by no way should fans even run a team. It's just what they say. It's just their opinions, and that includes me as well. At the end of the day, these people are in positions to do a job, and considering what he's had to work with, and considering what he's built and created, and this isn't just Arteta. This goes for Edu as well, and also on top of it, that the players have to take a responsibility. Yeah, that's the one thing that you talk about. I made the comment when Declan Rice missed that header. I said to Gary, "That's Arteta's fault as well." And this is just the kind of banter and foolishness that we have to go around with. But at the same time, the players have got to go on there and do a job. And I thought that they were decent in the first half, but I thought Newcastle was better. And then they were helped by the referee, who just, after countless times, would not reprimand Newcastle for the tackles. And I thought that was so obvious to see. And that's what's frustrating, to see that this is what we're up against, and the result is what the result is. But overall, credit to Newcastle today for the win. But I think the title is gone. Unless something drastic happens to Liverpool and Man City, we're now 8 points off the drift, and that's gone. Fat Freddy says, anyone want to point out any good things today apart from Partey, Saka and Rice? I don't think there was any good things, I think, and we're going to talk about that in the player ratings. Concrete Judgment said,
I've got a whole heap of running about to do.
No problem. We'll speed. I'll speed it up. I'll speed it up then, Gary. I prefer Trossard as a sub, but it's the same as Martinelli. I prefer Martinelli as a sub. If it was down to me, mate, Sterling would be starting on the left, Saka would be starting on the right. That's what I would do. If it was down to me and I had to choose a team, it would be them two, Sterling and Saka as wingers, and Havertz up front.
I think it's blind loyalty, though, isn't it? Arteta sticks with these players even if they're out of play. So he's always going to play Martinelli because Martinelli does the defensive side of the game. But ultimately, Martinelli's job is to score goals, right?
Yeah.
So do you keep playing him knowing that he's got a 25% chance of scoring, but he does 100% defensive work?
Yeah, I mean, he's well off it, mate. Saka's got 3 goals and 6 assists this season. That's the standard we're looking for. And Martinelli doesn't reach that standard. However, as I said, he's starting to pick it up. And I thought last week against Liverpool, I thought he defended really, really well. I thought defensively, Martinelli offered so much support for Timber. And as soon as Timber went off within 3 minutes, they scored. And that's no disrespect to Lewis Skelly. That's just the fact that it shows you how good Timber was when he was in there dealing with the overlap and everything else. And they just flooded that line. They had 4 players over there. Salah actually isn't outside. He comes inside, and that's where he scores the goal from.
But at this point, you might as well play Martinelli as a left back. If you're going to just make him defend. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of subject.
Saka's a better left back than Martinelli. We knew that from Emery's days. All right, guys, player ratings here right now. Let's kick this off with the player ratings for Arsenal. I have gone for a 6 with Raya. he didn't really have a lot to do today, and I thought that the pressing from Newcastle really made it difficult for him to distribute the ball, and I don't think we helped him. I really didn't, but I thought what he had to work with as well, the efficiency and distribution was okay. He made a couple of simple stops as well. One was the header towards the end of the game, but nothing really lightning out from him. Thomas Partey, not as adventurous as it was against Liverpool last week. But Newcastle didn't really aim to go at him because they saw what he did against against Liverpool last week. They didn't really attack Thomas Partey on that side. They really attacked the right-hand side. That's where the goal came from with Yuri and Timber. And as I said, Timber sat off about 7-8 yards and allowed that cross to go in. And then the quality of the cross, the quality of the header, really nothing we could do about it. But nothing really on Thomas Partey. He gets a 6. Both centre-backs get a 5.5 for me today, sheer for the fact that they were just outdone by the cross. And he's dropped it. Gordon's dropped it right in the dime of an ocean, right in the dime of a bucket, in between Saliba and Gabriel, right on the head of Alexander Isak. Just the sheer quality of it. They both got outdone by it. And it was a world-class cross and a world-class finish, which I don't think they could do much about. But the fact that they got outdone by it, they both get a 5.5. Timber gets a 5. And that was a kind of a balanced game. I thought he inverted really, really well, producing so much flair in the final third there, helping those guys up front. But he wasn't particularly effective when the goal came in and just was a non-factor. For me, he's got to put pressure on Gordon and stop that cross from coming in. I have been on Ben White's arse for the last year about him doing the same on the right-hand side. It would be a disservice for me to not rinse Timber for the same thing on the other side. It would be. It would just be me being biased on Ben White and not judging Timber in the same way. So I have to call it out, guys, where it is. And so that's where I see it. Declan Rice in the midfield. I thought he had a really, really good game. The only thing where I thought that he failed today was I thought his set pieces were off the mark. And I thought the header he missed we could have walked away with a point in this game. But I thought the influence he had picking up advanced positions was really good today. And it's not just the first time we've seen this. After a poor start in the season, I think Declan Rice is starting to find his form again now. In the first half as well, we saw him winning a couple of duels, intercepting passes, starting to be a massive influence in the middle of the park. So well done, Declan. Does he get my man of the match today? Yes, I think he does. But it just would have been so much better if he headed that ball and he probably would have ended up with an 8 rather than a 6.5. But he blew it. Mikel Moreno, he gets a 5. He actually came close to equalising, but the shot was blocked off the line. And this is what I'm saying. We're all crying about losing 1-0 today, but we had more than enough chances. Everyone moaning about creativity, moaning about the manager, moaning about a lot of other things as well. But the bottom line is they did enough to win this game, and they didn't. That's the bottom line. Regardless of the shortcomings of the manager and his choices, and the shortcomings of the injuries and not having Odegaard there, all these different factors, we still had the chance to win the game, and it falls, guess what, on the players' shoulders. And so my narrative is very different from a lot of you guys in the chat. Mikel Merino, again, just should have capitalized on that. Unlucky. Had some issues with the ball. He was booked for 1 tackle in the game on Bruno Guimaraes. It's just shocking from the referee today. I honestly don't know how Gary Stinger is going to get throughout this weekend, looking back at this game and seeing what Newcastle was getting away with. But we're used to this. That's why, for me, it's water off a duck's arse. I don't even get bothered by it anymore because I'm so used to this level of injustice. It just does not surprise me anymore. And I can't even scream and cry about it anymore because I'm just it's become the norm. Isn't that sad that something so important to the game like this, like officiating, becomes so normal that it just wears off you? There's just no emotion from me at all from it because I'm so used to it. But I didn't think he played well, and then he got hooked off for Wanieri, actually. And Trossard, he gets a 4. I'm not even going to talk about his performance today. I thought it was dreadful, and let me just leave it at that. Saka gets a 6 today. I thought he was our most liveliest player in the first half. But I think, and I'll tell you this, and this is probably a reason for it, which you guys have to think about. He had 2 occasions where he started limping, and then his effectiveness of the game just completely boiled off. So would have that been a situation where you would have replaced him with Sterling? I think so. I think the manager and the coaching staff missed that one there. I think that they should have probably taken him off and then put Sterling on. What should Sterling have done to get on the field today is just, that's for me where we've lost the opportunity, the fact that we didn't get him involved. But I think that that's where he should have come off. He put in 2 wonderful, in fact, Saka could have had 2 assists today. The cross he put in on the 6-yard line in the first half, the cross to Declan Rice where he fluffed the header at the end of the game. That on any other day, Saka would have had 2 assists. Kai Havertz, look, I love his energy, his movement. It's among the best in the team. Today, you just didn't see him pick up any positions, drifting into those spaces, which he normally does to pick up the ball. He wasn't involved in the creative part in the game and didn't get on the end of it. He was just a non-factor today. I think this is Havertz's worst game this season. And he's been one of our best players this season. And I think today he was woeful. Martinelli, he gets a 4 as well. And look, I think that Newcastle, credit to Eddie Howe, they played him really well. They doubled and tripled him. They actually put more players on him than they did on Saka. You'd think it'd be the other way around, right? They doubled Saka, but most of the times they tripled Martinelli. And this is why I want to give Eddie Howe credit today. Normally, I wouldn't really do that. But I think Newcastle deserved their win today based on the fact that they implemented their game plan and they worked harder. The intensity was much. They pressed harder, and they were more physical than Arsenal today. And it showed in the result, it showed in the goal, and it showed in the way how they were able to nullify Arsenal's wingers. And Martinelli just gave you nothing today. And Arteta also gets a 4 for what I thought was just poor substitutions. I'm not going to bemoan him for the misses for the players. I thought that the way that they set up tactically was enough to win the game, that the players just didn't get the job done. But how Arteta changed the game moving into the latter stages, I thought he missed the boat on the substitutions. Should not have brought on Ethan Nwaneri. A big no for me. Not a fan of that at all. And then should have got Raheem Sterling involved in the game, depending on players like Jesus, who's done nothing for you for months. And then this for me almost seems like Arteta was appeasing the fans. The fans wanted to see Ethan Nwaneri come on early. He did that. The fans wanted to see Zinchenko in a more advanced role. It happened for a while, but when nothing was happening, he drifted him back to left back. So Arteta, look, manage your way. Don't get constrained by all of these other factors that throw you off your game. Don't do it. Stick to your plan. Stick to your philosophy, and play to win. Don't play to defend. Don't play to for a draw or anything like that. Put your best players in the best positions for them to give you the best result. And I don't think you've done that today. Over to, I know Emerson and Gary said they weren't going to do player ratings. They're going to give us our overall. So Emerson, let's start with you and then let's go to Gary.
Yeah, I could do play ratings. I could do play ratings. All right, I'll give you mine. Raya, I agree with you with 6. Partey, I also agree with you with 6. Saliba and Gabriel in defense, central defense, I'll give them the same. 5.5 each. Timber, although he played well in the first half, but tailed off in the second half. So I agree with you with a 5. Rice in midfield was our best player. I'll give him a 6. Mourinho had a quiet game, although he did have a shot but was upped off the line. I'll give him a 5.5. Trossard, another another poor game by him, by his standards. I give him a generous 3.5. Saka, he showed glimpses in going with his crossing, thing like that. He had one or two half chances, but obviously they were off target. So I give him a 6, like yourself. Havertz, I will give him more than a 4 because he worked hard. He tried his best of what he could do to unsettle the Newcastle 2 centre halves. I give him a decent 5.5. Martinelli obviously had another poor game. Why? As I said, he has to work on his offensive and defensive work more when he's going forward. Obviously, he has to cross more better, and when he's defending, he normally is quite good on his defensive duties. So I give him a generous 3.5. Arteta regarding the lineup and substitutions. I'll give it. I'll give him a 4.5 because, as I said, being like that, as I told you at the beginning of the show, it was who was going to play right back because we knew Ben White had a knock, and obviously Thomas Partey came in that position. So for my overall Arsenal player of the match, I'll give it to Declan Rice, like yourself, closely followed by Thomas Partey. So that is my player ratings for this match.
What about you, Gary?
Yeah, I might as well quickly do player ratings. I'm still here. Right, so I'm going to give everyone a 5 across the board, with the exception of Declan Rice. I'm going to give him a 5.5. Trossard, I'm going to give him a 2. I think he's suffering at the moment. Not playing well. Saka, I didn't see the chance in the first half, but the cross that he put in the second half was worthy of a goal. I'm going to give him a 5.5. Havertz, I'm going to give a 3. I think, like yourself, I think it was one of his poorest performances in an Arsenal shirt so far. I think it's a confusion if he's playing the 10 or he's playing the 9. I mean, there was an instance in the second half where he's drifted out to literally 10 yards from Saka and there is no one in the centre. When you're chasing the game, you need a presence up top. You need a presence. So if that cross comes in the box, you've got that guy 6'4" that can maybe get ahead to it or outstretch a leg. But I think it's confusion in position because he's trying to play the 10 because he does the dirty side of the game like Odegaard would. But I think you need a presence up top. And if he's going to provide that, he has to stay in the 9 role. I'm going to give Havertz a 3. Martinelli, I'm going to give him a 2. Again, right, he scored a couple of goals and he's got a couple of assists. But for me, with Martinelli, it's just the indecision. It's the indecision of he doesn't make his mind up quick enough what he's going to do. So when you're saying he's getting triple teamed, before that triple team comes, he's probably one-on-one. When he's one-on-one, that's when he's got to make a decision to go inside, outside, and make something happen, or lay a pass, make a run, receive the ball back. And he doesn't do this enough. And I said before, was it last season, that he's looking like a player from the Brazilian second division. When he came, there was a big fanfare. He scored goals. Klopp was calling him a generational talent. But that, unfortunately, now is not looking the case with this guy. Yes, he does the defensive work. Can't knock him for that. But ultimately, he's in the team to score goals and create goals. And he just needs to go out there and make something happen on a regular basis, or he needs to be shipped out and someone else comes in. Arteta for me today was poor management, poor substitutions. Yes, the team created chances. We could have scored a couple of goals, and another day we probably walk out of that maybe 2-1 winners or 3-1 winners. But when the game is not going your way, you have to have a plan B. And we've seen before with other teams like Van Dijk will go up front for Liverpool for the last couple of minutes, and you knock balls long. We don't do that. We don't see Saka and Martinelli switch wings to give the defence something else to think about. Where is all this? Where is all this tactics? All the great managers have really good tactics, and the more that you see from Arteta, the more it doesn't look like he has the tactical nous to change a game when it really matters. And it's a shame because I don't want to see Arteta foul. I want to see Arteta win trophies. So like I said, for me, this season, I'm not going to say the league's gone because obviously anything can happen. But we just need to go and play, and we need to start winning games, and we need to go on a run of like 10, 11 consecutive wins. And at the moment, I can't see us doing it because for some reason we're playing within ourselves. It doesn't look like there's any desire there. The passion doesn't seem to be as it was, and I don't know why that is. So for me, Arteta gets a 2 today. I've really poor man management. I mean, Raheem Sterling, how's this guy sitting on the bench? You bring Jesus on. What's this guy done? Nothing for 23 games. Zinchenko doesn't even get in the team over Miles Lewis-Skelly anymore. Where was Zinchenko against Liverpool? Who did he bring on? Miles Lewis-Skelly. Zinchenko come on today, tried to play a bit of a higher role. It didn't work. He gave the ball away constantly. So I'm a bit confused as to what Arteta was thinking. I think he got it badly wrong today. And he needs to improve, and he needs to get a plan B in place where, right, this is not working. There was 11 men behind the ball. Can we swap the wingers? Can we put Gabriel up front or whatever the case may be for that last 5 minutes? Because you might as well go lose 2-0, right? Then just go out 1-0 because you need a goal. Fair enough. If Rice heads home, Saka's cross, it ends 1-1, and you can say we've got away with one. But you've got to do, in my opinion, you have to do a little bit more when the game is not going your way, and that's what I want to see from the manager. But I also want to see him go and win a trophy this year, one of the cups. If we can't get the league, you've obviously finished as high as you can, but you've got to bring in some silverware in the cups because you're 5 years in now, right? In January, I want to go and see us throw down 80 million and go and get this Gyökeres. I don't want to leave it to the summer. I don't care what the manager might have said. He's not signing this player or whatever. Go throw down 80 million, take it or leave it. If Sporting don't want to take it, that's up to them. They're going to get less in the summer. But something needs to be done and a couple of signings need to be made. But you've got to play players that can affect the game. And for me today, that was Raheem Sterling. I don't know why you're throwing Jesus on and why you bring Jorginho on for Partey. Makes no sense. I just don't understand it.
100%.
That's 100%. The only. Like for me, listen. I love what Arteta's done at the club. I love that he's reconnected the fans. And part of what you hear coming from the fans is that the expectations go sky high, right? So when we fall below our expected expectations, people start getting the ump, and it kind of like we start lashing out at Arteta. But in all reality, it's the benchmark that he's set. So when we fall below it, we don't accept it as fans. We can, after the dust has cleared and it's settled down, you see it for what it is. Yes, we created chances. We was unlucky not to score a couple of goals, but ultimately we've lost the game 1-0. And in my opinion, we've gone out with a whimper. I haven't seen no one shoot from 25 yards, from 30 yards. This is what you want to see. I always say to my under 13s, right? It's not about how you lose. It's not about losing. It's about how you lose. If my boys go out there on a Sunday and everyone gives 110% and we come out second best, so be it. But I didn't see that today from Arsenal. And that's what gets me the most. I didn't see that. And that's what I want to see from my team.
Yeah, so let's go to what we've talked about here. What's going on here? This is rugby, so I'm going to turn it off.
Right. I've got to jump off, guys, because I've got so much running around to do.
Yeah, I'm only going to be on for 2 more minutes, mate. Yeah, I'm just going to read a couple of the guys' thoughts here, and then we can sign off. Cam says these are the games that you need individual quality to get your team over the line. Sometimes it seems like the coaches are sacrificing individual quality for athleticism. I agree. Scoring 92 goals was an anomaly. It wasn't an anomaly, bro, because the year before we scored 89. So we broke the record 2 years back to back. So an anomaly is when you do it once, D. That's when you do it once. But I agree with you that we should have got. I think we should have gone all in for Yokores, especially when Newcastle said that Isak was off limits. But it is what it is. They didn't want to pay the money, and that's really that the owners was holding the money back, and then came out and said we've got 60 to 80 million for you if you find the player. But at that time, Sesko and look, Sesko was there as well. He decided he didn't want to come. There is a clause in his contract, but we don't know anything about that. I personally don't, and I don't think most of the agents, including Fabrizio Romano, knows what's inside that contract. So we don't know, but we do know that there's something in there for Arsenal to approach them at later terms. Victor Yokores as well. So it is what it is. I mean, we got to wear it. The team for me was still good enough. We came so close last season, but we all knew, didn't we? Let's not pretend like we're burying our heads under the sand. We all knew if Odegaard, who's by far, by a mile, is not just the best creative player in Europe, he's the best by a country mile. Yeah, that's what all the statistics say. We knew if we lost him, we were dead in the water, and we lost him. And we haven't been horrible without him, but we've not been anywhere as effective. And it shows in our game. Everybody's coming out saying, we can't create. Well, no shit. Of course we can't create. We're missing the best. We're stating the obvious. We're missing the best creative player in football. So it's no surprise. The only difference is we don't have anyone to replace him, number one. And then number two, Smith Rowe. I mean, oh my God. How bad does that look now? I don't care. Yeah, I don't care how much money we got for him. I don't care. We should not have sold him.
I said it at the time. Smith Rowe, it was a bad idea to let Smith Rowe and Vieira go in the same window. It made no sense then. And clearly now it still makes even worse sense.
And on top of that, let me also stick the boot in on you guys who kept saying, sell Eddie. Yeah? How many goals have you got from our strikers this year? Yeah,
we don't even have a proper striker.
Right, so there you go. Yeah, and he's on the bench at Crystal Palace. So just another wasted. All we did there was just think about the money. That's all that we did there. Cranky says Havertz get good grades for hard work, and yeah, he does, and rightly so. The forwards are graded on the other. He scored goals as well, bro. How many goals has he scored this season? Is it 5 or 6?
Who are we talking about?
Havertz. How many goals? He scored 6, hasn't he?
6, I think.
Yeah. So it's not like, let's not act like he's not doing nothing.
5.
Look, this was the worst game he's played so far this season. It doesn't mean he's trash. Let's just understand where we are, right? One bad game doesn't make you a bad player. Yeah, so I don't think we're not going with that, Cranky. But I do agree. If you're saying he played terrible today, then I agree with you. But by no means, he's one of our hardest working players, and he's starting to get the credit that he deserves. But today,
Cranky, Eddie scored 1 goal this season, but he's playing in a poor Palace team that don't create the chances that we create.
Yeah, look, I made this point on the forum, didn't I? Eze is their best player. Yeah? Look how much he's got. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist. So the whole Michael Alesi thing has just affected the whole team. Their creativity, but their Odegaard is gone. He ain't injured. He ain't suspended. He left the club. So that's Palace now for the whole season. Yeah, that's who they are. So they got to own that. At least we're getting Odegaard back. At least we're getting Odegaard back.
I agree with Vincey. The team setup is not right. You know, Marino, Rice, Partey, all in the same team is not producing what we need it to produce. And Trossard, he doesn't play the 10 because he won't do the defensive side. So you put Havertz in the 10, so you lose out up front because you want Havertz to do what Odegaard does, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree. Vincey's had a good question here. Isak for Havertz. I'm not sure whether people do that because Isaac is a better player than Havertz. Let's. He doesn't defend as well as Havertz, so there is that. If you're building your team on a defensive state to win a title, then you're only using Isak as a one-dimensional player. But he can play on the left wing. We've seen that from him in Sweden and Newcastle. So he does have a little bit more about him. But then he, if you look at Havertz as well, he's like Xhaka in terms of he's a bullet. He's bulletproof. The guy just doesn't get injured. And so when you look at Isak, he's the complete opposite of that. The other thing where you said, come on, Apollo, why can't we not create with a squad rotation? Bro, it's not difficult to understand. You're talking about the best player, the best number 10 in football, then you're asking a team to replicate that. It just can't. There's no planet where we live on will that ever happen. You can facilitate a meaning, which is what he's tried to do, but you're never going to get the same effectiveness. And it's not just Odegaard as well. We've had Saka missing. Remember, Odegaard is the number 1 creator in Europe. Saka is the 3rd in the Premier League. So we've got 2 top chances created players in the top 3 in the Premier League. That's how we're suffering right now. And all the fans are saying is, oh, well, let's go and do something else to create. There's just no, I don't see any way or form how you can replace that. Yes, we can get what we've seen now. And let's not be fair. It's not like we've drawn blanks. We have scored goals. But by nowhere have we been at the same level as we have with Odegaard. He is that important to us. Back-to-back player of the season for Arsenal, voted by the fans. He's that important to us, and we're seeing the effects of it. So
see you losing 1-0. Woo!
Oh yeah, always taking the benefits.
My guy Semenyo scored.
Yeah, it is.
Just touching on Crank. Sorry, Apollo. Just touching on Cranky's point. Where's it?
Which
gone?
one?
We're not saying that ESR and Eddie would have been our saviours. What the whole point about ESR was, I thought it was a mistake at the time to let him and Vieira go in the same window. If I had to pick one of them to stay, it would have been ESR, because Vieira in his time at Arsenal hasn't really shown me that he can cope in the Premier League. So I don't understand why you would let both of them go in the window. And if Odegaard was to get injured, for me, ESR would have been the player to come and take his spot.
Yeah.
So we're not saying that they would have been our saviours. We're just it's our opinion that we would have been a better squad had ESR stayed and played. I mean, I've watched him for Fulham, and he's put in some really decent performances. He gets up and down the pitch. He doesn't just stand up in the 10 spot. He's up and he's tackling back and he's making things happen. He's scored a couple of goals. He's had a couple of assists. That would have been priceless where we are at the moment to have a player like him. Yeah. He makes late runs into the box, and that's what we don't really have. Yeah,
Vince is saying Real Madrid coped with that. They coped because they got a bunch of quality players. And they coped because almost every player that they have would start on mainly every other team. Somebody made a point further up. I don't know who it was, but they said we're missing that magic like the Sanchez, Henry, and we don't have that. And you're exactly correct. We don't have that player, that special player who can turn a game. We do have Saka, and he's one of them. But I made a point that after the first half, he got those 2 tackles, didn't he, Gary? And it didn't look the same afterwards. And that's when I would have went. That's when I would have went Sterling.
Yeah, because Hall went up for the header, and when he came down, he accidentally caught Saka on the back of the Achilles, which was completely accidental. But I mean, I'm bewildered as to why Sterling can't get a run in this season. I just don't understand it.
I don't get it, mate. I don't get it. He played 18 games.
Criminal.
He played 18 games. He played 18 games in the worst Chelsea side last season, and still had 8 goals and 6 assists in the worst Chelsea team. It just doesn't make sense how he's not playing more in our team.
But how is your go-to guy Gabriel Jesus? What? In what planet? In what planet?
I agree with what Cranky's saying here. It's Sterling. It's an injustice by the manager why Sterling didn't play today. It's like I cannot forgive that with Arteta today. What it was going on there. Vincey now, last comment of the day, guys. Vince is saying, if Martinelli, Havertz and Trossard were scoring more, would we compensate for the lack of creative? Well, I think that was the answer, wasn't it, Vincey? The answer was, without Odegaard, they're using a combination of Havertz and Trossard to create. And it's been a mixed bag. Some days they've looked really good and other days they've looked awful. And today was a day where they've looked awful. Yeah. All right, guys, that's it from us here today. Arsenal dropped points. We all knew this stretch was going to be tough. Away to Newcastle, away to Inter Milan, away to Chelsea. In fact, 4 of our next 5 games were away from home. So we knew it was going to be tough, but this is not how we wanted to start the weekend. Awful result for us, not what any of us expected. And now it's going to be really tough from here on out. The only reprieve that I can see from us is getting Odegaard back. That's the only thing we've got to look out for. And as Gary said, when we get Odegaard back, we then make a run. Yeah. So thanks to Gary and Emerson. Shout out to everybody. And guys, have a great weekend.
Enjoy your weekend, people. See you soon.